palaban ang salitang ginamit ni Pampanga Governor Delta Pineda nung pinapag-usapan niya ang koponan niya. At ng season na ito, nasaksihan talaga natin kung paano pinakita ng Pampanga Giant Lanterns ang mga palaban na puso nila. Pero alam rin natin na ang San Juan Knights never say die. Palagi ang nasa isip nila. So we are in for an exciting series. This is Game 1 of the North Division Finals of Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
The San Juan Knights officially eliminate the defending champions, the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, and San Juan will now advance to the North Division Finals to take on the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. But then again, Pampanga will move on to our North Division Finals.
Paghihirap na ginagawa ho ng team namin for the Kapampangans. So talagang grabe po saya.
I don't want to have a repeat performance. Sabi ko, kung pwede na tapusin ngayon, tapusin na natin.
A three-pointer for Orlan. That's good! Almost halfway done in this frame. Baltazar on the pick and roll. Basket and one.
As long na confident ako sa mga players ko, hopefully lalaban naman po kami ng third finals nito.
They're considered the underdogs. Kasi, first of all, they're on demand. Let's face it. Talagang malakas yung lineup ng Pampanga.
The run, Concepcion will fly up and thunder with some magic in the air. Adrian Novo, pass inside, Calisan takes, nice move by Mike. Just so everybody knows, game number 1 of the North Division Finals. We are down to the last 4 teams in the 2023 Mpbl playoffs, and we set you up to another beautiful night for Philippine basketball, presenting game number 1 of the 2023 Mpbl North Division Finals between the Pampanga Giant Lanterns and the San Juan Knights. We are coming to you live from the Bren Zigiao Convention Center all the way up in San Fernando, Pampanga, wherein the Giant Lanterns are still undefeated in this season with 13 wins and 0 losses. But they're going to go up against a champion team already in the Mpbl. It happened in the second season with Coach Randy Alcantara, Orlan Momar, Jeff Tahonera, and Joseph Ubalde. But they're going to want to do the same going up against the Titans of the 5th season of our league. Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda will be going up against Senator Jinggoy Estrada for our storyline of Redeem or Reign. This is the Pampanga Giant Lanterns going up against the San Juan Knights. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Coach Mike Perez. And Coach Mike, we all know about the success of Pampanga all season long. Number 1 in the whole of the Mpbl. But I ask you this, what makes the San Juan Knights the most formidable opponents of Pampanga in the North Division?
Well, I think it's primarily because of that last 2 series that they went up again. That was very difficult series for them. That those games were come from behind, and so it really tested them mentally against Makati and tested their resolve physically when they went up and won against Nueva Ecija.
Now, we do have a very special game at hand as we are in game number 1 of the North Division Finals, and so we have 2 courtside reporters at hand. It's Mika Abesames and Gianna Llanes. And why don't we first say hi to Mika. Mika, welcome back here in the Mpbl, and welcome back to the Philippines, by the way. So what do you have in store for us tonight?
You know, I'm really excited to get into the details as to how San Juan reached this point, how they were able to get through the strong contenders. Of course, thoughts of Coach Randy Alcantara and Senator Jinggoy Estrada, how they are today going against the biggest contender of the league.
All right, so we're gonna be looking forward to those reports coming from Mika later on. But now let's say hi to Gianna Llanes as well. Gianna, ikaw, what do you have in store for us?
Well, Migs and Coach Mike, as a Kapampangan myself, I knew I had to cover for the Pampanga Giant Lanterns today. Kilala natin si Governor Delta Pineda. Palagi siyang maraming kwento, kaya marami rin ang ibabahagi ko sa inyo. I might even tell you which karaoke song his players were singing along to before the game today. Yan at marami pa sa aking mga reports.
Oh, that's what you have to love from our courtside reporters, the inside stuff from Mika and Gianna. So it's Mika for San Juan and Gianna for Pampanga. But now we have to break down our playoff bracket. So Coach Mike Perez can explain to us the journeys of our two teams approaching the North Finals.
Well, of course, itong Pampanga went up against a really quick series. I say quick because it's relatively easier compared to what San Juan went through. They swept those two series in as much as San Juan. Ganun rin ang ginawa. Katulad nga na sinabi natin kanina, mas mahirap yung naging path nitong San Juan going into the situation in the division finals.
Would you actually say that San Juan, compared to all the other three teams in the division finals, had the hardest journey?
Yes, definitely it's San Juan that's got the most difficult path.
Well, one guy who had a difficult path inside the paint in the previous series is Michael Calisan, but he did not make it a reason for him to underperform against the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. We always talk about the fact that San Juan is lacking primarily big men in their lineup, but boy, did he step up, especially in game number 2.
And that's one area that really Michael Calisan has really provided para dito sa San Juan. Sure, they have a lot of athletic wingmen and guards that can actually do the rebounds, but boy, Michael was sensational right there. 30 points in that game, going 11 of 19, 18 rebounds in all. And boy, what a spectacular performance in that game by Calisan.
Well, in the words of Orlando Nomar, he expected, and the same goes from their coaches now, they expected that he was going to be trapped. And so they anticipated the fact that Michael Calisan will be free inside to get those points. And so Orlan did give him the ball so that his teammate Michael can score 30 points. Now, onto the other end of things, let's talk about the big man of the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, the leading MVP candidate in the 5th season of the Mpbl, Balti Baltazar. Look at those numbers, just duplicating what he showed us in the regular season.
Definitely, he's been very consistent. There was only one game where he scored less than double digits. I guess that was the passing series, but everything all forward, it's really just been him dominating. And you know, let's face it, everything that Pampanga runs has to go through Balti Baltazar.
Oh, it's not every day that you get to see more rebounds being averaged than points here in the Mpbl, and for him to do that with 71% field goal shooting, that is just dominant numbers coming from Balti. Now let's talk about the last meeting of our two teams. Would you actually say that this is a good measure coming into our North Finals? Because as far as we remember, San Juan wasn't complete in the regular season against Pampanga.
Well, it was the final game of the eliminations. There was really nothing at stake. So from my perspective, at least, these guys really just played. We didn't have the top players. Pampanga did not play. Balti, Baltazar, Ganya, and Maynes. While for San Juan, Wamar, Nokum, and Taiwan, even Tajonera did not play in that game. And so what happened there? Well, it was close game in the first quarter until Pampanga started doing their run leading up to this win. And the numbers that I want to look at is that rebounds and points in the paint dominated by Pampanga. But when you look at the bench points right there, it's really a -11 for San Juan. That's really been the Waterloo of San Juan. They gotta get more help coming off the bench and not just rely on their starters.
Now, if you see the rebounding and points in the paint categories, that usually is a testament of the dominance inside the paint for Pampanga. Would you actually say that on the other side of things, San Juan has an advantage in terms of the backcourt against the Giant Lanterns?
Yeah, when you talk about 94 feet game, it's really going to be San Juan that's got that advantage in there, especially as they do those turnovers and turn them into points on the other end, especially if they keep them live. It's going to be advantage for San Juan on the turnover side.
So let's see which team can exploit its advantage in game number 1 of the North Division Finals. We have a lot of special people inside our venue, and that includes our coaches here at hand for Pampanga and San Juan. And a couple of those coaches are with our courtside reporter, Mika Abisabis. Mika, go ahead.
Tama ka dyan, Migs. I am with two very special people, Governor Delta Pineda and of course Senator Jinggoy Estrada, who showed us a bit of sportsmanship earlier. He wore the Pampanga shirt here inside the Brenzigiao Convention Center. Good evening po, Sen. You went through a challenging journey po. You went against the Makati OK Bet Kings and then the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, but because of hard work, napagdaanan nyo po yun. But today, you will go through another challenge and going against a tough contender in the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Gaano po kahanda ang San Juanites?
Gaano ka?
Handa ang San Juanites.
Una-una, nais kong batiin ating mga kababayan. Maayo, pabengi kay Kayungan dito sa ating mga kababayan sa Pampanga. At Nais ko pong sabihin sa inyo, nais ko pong pasalamatan kayo sa inyong pagtanggap po sa amin sa San Juan Knights, lalong-lalo na kay Governor Delta, kay Vice Governor Inang Baby, at sa inyo lahat, maraming salamat po. At alam nyo, hindi naman ako ibarito sa Pampanga sapagkat yung aking asawa, yung aking kaisa-isang asawa ay tiga dito sa Guagua, Pampanga. Kaya kaisa nyo rin po ako. Doon sa tanong mo, Iha, na kung gaano kami kahanda dito sa laban sa Pampanga. Alam nyo, malayo na yung aming narating. Yung aming journey papunta rito sa Division Finals ay talagang dumaan kami sa butas ng karayom. Pero nais ko rin sabihin kay Governor Delta, handang-handa kami at hindi kami atras. Maraming salamat po.
Napakaganda. Once again, Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Gov, medyo matagal po yung pahinga, but today you are going against a team na talaga namang nagpakita ng puso during the playoffs. No? Ano pong thoughts nyo sa game na to, Gov?
So, sabi ko nga sa mga players, yung San Juan hindi pumunta rito yan para magpatalo. Pumunta dito yan para talunin tayo. So, kailangan natin paghandaan talaga.
Gov, anong gusto mo sabihin sa lahat ng Kapampangan na nandito sa loob ng Brenzigiao Convention Center ngayong gabi at dun sa mga nanonood sa TV?
Okay, first kay Senator Jinggoy, maraming salamat po. Kuya Jing, thank you sa support dito sa Pampanga. Kapampangan po yung asawa ni Kuya Jing, may dugong Kapampangan po yan. Mag-pray tayo, bigay yung laro sa atin. Okay, sa lahat po ng mga Kapampangan na nandito ngayon, maraming salamat po. And doon po sa mga followers po natin na hindi na makapasok dahil sobrang sikip na po rito sa gym. Maraming salamat po sa support at sana pag-pray nyo po ang Pampanga Giant Lanterns para po makuha namin tong first game.
Maraming salamat po, Governor Delta Pineda. Now it's gonna be San Juan versus Pampanga. Miguel Parade, take it away.
Pampangi, mga kaliga, and welcome to the Brenzigiao Convention Center here in San Fernando, Pampanga. This is game 1 of the best of 3 North Division Finals matchup between San Juan Knights and your Pampanga Giant Lanterns on the 2023 Manny Pacquiao's Mpbl Season 5 presented by Extreme. Who will draw first blood in the battle for the Northern Supremacy? Time to meet our starters. First off, for the 2019 Mpbl Datu Cup champions, the San Juan Knights. Starting at forward, number 27, Joseph Ubalde. At center, number 16, Zach Huang. Starting at guard, number 24, Nico Panganiban. At guard, number 5, Orlan Huamar Jr. And the other forward, number 2, from Santa Rita, Pampanga, Mike Calisan. San Juan Knights is led by the team owner, Honorable Senator Jinggoy Estrada, with Randy Alcantara, Rion Garcia, Nani Epondulan. Team consultant is the original Temple King, Philip Cesar. Team manager is June Usman. Co-team owner is Jeremy Go. And now, Bagsak Mepa Kabalen, and get on your feet, because it's time to meet the starting unit for your Pampanga Giant Lanterns AMT3 Construction. Starting at forward, number 7, JB Bahio. At guard, number 11 from Angeles City, the silent assassin, MJ Garcia. Also at guard, number 2 from Suklaban, Mexico, the Royal Bazooka, Archie Concepcion. Starting at center, number 19, Apalit and Mabalacat Pride, Justin Balti Baltazar. And
And at power forward, number 29, from Lubao, Pampanga, this Spider-Man, Arwin Santos! Head coach for your Pampanga Giant Lanterns AMGT Construction is Honorable Governor Dennis Delta Pineda, assisted by Pedic Dimatulak. Team consultant is Alan Trinidad. Assistant team managers are Ronald Dulud and Raymond Guevara. Team manager and team owner is Mr. Aurelio A.G. Gonzalez III.
Presenting the starters for game number 1 of the North Division Finals. We have a change for San Juan. Orlando Mar, Nico Panganiban, Zach Wang, and Michael Calisan will be aided by that guy, Joseph Ubalde. On the other end, it's MJ Garcia, Archie Concepcion, Justin Baltazar, JB Bahio, and Arwin Santos. For the league's top team in the regular season, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. 4 teams remain for the 5th championship of the MPBL, and we begin things here inside the Brenzi Giao Convention Center. Thank you for joining us. This is Mix Gomez alongside Coach Mike Perez, Mika Abisamis, and Gianna Llanes. First possession belongs to Pampanga. Coach Mike, I have to ask you the question immediately. What say you in this starting nod for Joseph Ubalde?
Well, definitely they're gonna wanna check Baltazar very quickly and gonna use, his fouls to try and contest against any attempt by the big man underneath.
Good stop for San Juan in the first possession. Now Zach Wang is moving against JB Bahio. Wang misfires. Rebound Ubalde as he tries to continue being that spark plug for Senator Jinggoy Estrada. He is one of the remaining champions in the San Juan Season 2 squad with Orlando Mar and Jeff Tajonera. And of course, they're still being coached by Randy Alcantara.
Yeah,
Orlan has the ball.
Yeah, normally perimeter shots would get you those offensive rebounds. Exactly what's been happening here. I mean, they've been very actively chasing against that offensive glass, and because they want to get up their second chance points.
All right, now let's give our viewers your keys to victory for the San Juan Knights. Coach Mike.
Well, number 1, they got to stick to the giant plan. Kung ano man ang scheme nila against Baltazar, they got to stick to it. Second, they got to score on live turnovers. Every time you get a steal on the open floor, go run it and then defend without fouling. You depend a lot on your starters, and so your starters got to be free from foul trouble.
Right now, Joseph Ubalde is off to a good start on both ends of the floor as he scores the first 2 points in this game. Now, the keys to victory for Pampanga.
Well, definitely, you got to feed the giant. That's the core of your team. That's where everything has to pass through against Baltazar. Next, you got to dominate the paint, rebounds, and whatever it is inside, blocks, what have you. You got to dominate that. And lastly, you got to come back defensively in transition, because once there's a live turnover, it's going to be run on the other end in favor for the Knights.
Are you actually expecting both teams to run in this game?
I think more on San Juan, but we'll see maybe in the early part of the game for Pampanga.
It's now 2-all. Arwin Santos just scored the first 2 points of Pampanga in the North Finals. Panganiban misfires. Archie got the rebound, and here comes MJ Garcia against Orlando Mar. They go to the reigning homegrown player of the year, the bounce to Balti, and that's a foul by Joseph Ubalde.
Well, definitely, very quickly, MJ Garcia wanted that ball in the hands of Baltazar, but you gotta have a really good angle so that clear yung pass na niya. That solo side is gonna be very difficult. You gotta get more pressure on the ball that's being passed all the way to Balti.
2-all. 2 minutes gone by in the opening frame. Archie for 3. That's long. Rebound MJ. He soars and scores.
Well, that's just the value of an MJ Garcia who brings you. That's why he's always part of the starting unit, because he wants to start the game in a really good momentum.
2 baskets now have gone in for Pampanga. 4-2. Zach Wang. He turns around and feeds. Ubalde. Mid-range. Short. Rebound to no one. That's out of bounds in favor of San Juan.
Now, you see Ubalde actually taking that shot from the outside. Why did he do that? Because you want to draw out the defense of Baltazar. Because if he doesn't, that's going to be a free look for Ubalde all night long. But he's got to make those shots.
The thing is, we've seen Joseph Ubalde drain a couple of those jumpers already in the span of his MPBL career. As Omar misses from downtown, and here comes MJ Garcia. They go to Arwin against Michael Calisaan. Santos to Bahio. Nice matchup. JB against Zach. Bahio trying to back down, feed, turnover. San Juan on the run. And Nico Panganiban just could not handle the basketball.
Well, two things you saw in there. They fed it on the post, speaking of Pampanga, but there was not much movement on the weak side. You got to have movement on the weak side so that you keep that defense busy. Now, on the side of San Juan, turnover, they tried to push it on a live turnover, but unfortunately, sira rin na turnover nila yung bola.
3 minutes gone by now. It's 4-2. Balti Baltazar goes to Arwin Santos. No handoff. Now it's a foul on Mike Calisaan. You think that's already a bit troubling for San Juan, knowing just how important Mike is on the floor for the Knights?
Yeah, that's one of the keys to victory. You got to defend without fouling, and if you're Calisaan, you got to do better than that.
Now let's turn you over to Gianna Llanes for her report about Pampanga.
Migs and Coach Mike, Arwin Santos was blasting the karaoke version of Kenny Rogers through the years sa dugout ng Pampanga Giant Lanterns bago mag-umpisa ang laro. And I can guarantee you that every single one of his teammates was singing along. Even Governor Delta Pineda, who shares that this was their way of easing off any pressure. Napakarami daw kasi ang nanunood ngayon, hindi lamang dito sa Brenzy Giao Convention Center, kundi sa iba't ibang barangay hall at covered courts rin kung saan nag-set up sila ng widescreens para sa viewings. Hindi rin daw coincidence na karamihan ng nanunood ngayon ay nakasuot ng white. Kagabi daw request nila yon sa fans ng Lanterns para ipakita ang suporta nila. Ganito daw kasi kapalaban ang mga Kapampangan. Back to you guys.
Well, that has been the case all season long for the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, and it makes it even more interesting come the North Finals with just how many viewers they have present for them, not only in this venue as Balti scores inside. Now Pampanga is up 8-2. But I want to go back to the song that Gianna mentioned by Kenny Rogers. Did you actually hear it, the song? And are you actually familiar with that artist?
I'd like to forget that song. I don't remember that anymore.
Okay, so we shall continue. 6 minutes and 13. The crowd is roaring here inside our venue, and for sure, as mentioned by Gianna, for those watching in the barangay halls all around Pampanga, they should be very happy as well. The song is Through the Years, by the way, Coach Mike. I hope you remember that song Through the Years as well.
Makes me want to sing it now.
Well, it's interesting that that's a bit of a strategy by Arwin Santos, who has been a shining light onto these Giant Lanterns. As soon as he came in, we would see videos inside the locker rooms of them having TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that Arwin Santos would be the main TikToker of these Lanterns? As there was a miss by E.G. Boy Mojica. It's now 8-2.
So far, those shots from the outside have been empty here for San Juan. They got to connect those if they want to go and spread that floor.
JV Bahio drives. Bahio hangs and misses, but Balti was there for the cleanup.
Bahio is one of those guys that can actually break down that defense and has really good basketball IQ. As we see right here, he saw that defense was late, went on a hang, but man, you gotta keep mind of where the Giant is inside the paint.
That's why the sea of Kapampangans here in the Giant Lanterns, you see Cebuano and JV Bahio shining alongside Balti Baltazar, the guy who averaged 17 points and 17 rebounds in the previous series. It's now 10-2 with 4 minutes and change gone by. We have our player matchup for tonight. 2-star guards in the Mpbl. These are actually our all-star starters for Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda.
Yeah, both different valued players para dito sa San Juan and Pampanga. Orlan Ramar really looks more to facilitate than score. Samantala si Encho, once he gets that ball, it's really point looking for scores kaagad. The only reason why Orlan Ramar is one of the top scorers because if he can't find anyone, he's the one who actually is capable of scoring.
Well, that's what he did in game number 2 as he was trapped by Nueva Ecija. He found Michael Calisaan numerous times as Mike scored 30 points. There you see Encho Serrano. But now we turn you over to Mika Abisamis for a report about the San Juan Knights.
As we shifted to the season of the Mpbl with stronger contenders, the demeanor of the teams were of course never say die. Some might think this would be cliche, but not for the San Juan Knights. They went through the strong Makati OK Bet Kings and their longtime rival, the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, who, as we know, with the leadership of Coach Gerson Cabiltes, really obviously prepared. But sabi nga ni Sir Philip Cesar, we got lucky. We played with a bigger heart. Dahil hanggang last second, kakabahan ka talaga sa kung anong pwede gawin ng Nueva Ecija. Today, they are facing an even bigger challenge. Literally, Coach Randy Alcantara told the boys not to look at the stats, to focus on their mental toughness, getting to this venue with a sea of white. Sabi nila, napagdaanan na natin to mula sa Torotot sa Nueva Ecija hanggang sa drums dito. So wala namang bago. Mix, Coach Mike?
And that's definitely right. Coach Mike did tell us that he thinks San Juan is the most formidable opponent for Pampanga in the North Division. But right now, San Juan would have to be a lot more tough, or they have to be at their toughest here inside the Brenzigiao Convention Center, because JB Bahio and company, they're off to a blistering start.
Boy, and when you look at that, that's already three offensive rebounds here for the Giant Lanterns, and I don't like how they're just allowing that ball to go directly into Balti Baltasar at the post. You have to be able to give more resistance, both on the passer and the receiver. In this case, would be Balti Baltasar.
By the way, they are resisting now without Michael Calisan, because Calisan has 2 fouls early in this matchup as Joseph Ubalde takes a breather. Field goal story natin. That is so low. 1 out of 8 for San Juan.
Agree. I think that's the more concerning part for San Juan. I mean, you're a scoring team. You love to score, and you're just 1 out of 8. Make that 2 out of 9 now.
That's definitely a good sign coming from Will Yambing, who is one of those athletic forwards that would definitely help out in the interior for San Juan. Almost a turnover there. It is completed. So the Knights will have possession, down by 8 with 4 minutes and 43 remaining in the opening frame. This 3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One Stop Shop Appliances. Yambing with 3 immediate points coming off the bench. Adrian Nocum drives, spins, and scores.
I like how they do that triple handoff on the wing in the corner. It makes them a little bit more movement and allows for the defense to move a little bit.
MJ on the other end almost turned the ball over. The lead is 6 for the home team.
Yeah, you got to pressure that.
Almost a steal. Here's Balti. 6 on the shot clock. Double cross. Baltazar inside. He misses. Got his own board. Still no basket. Bahio, basket and 1.
San Juan, for the most part, Mix, in that situation, did their job. Pressured the pass, went for the attack, and allowed Balti to just dribble penetrate. But again, defense has got to end with a defensive rebound. You cannot allow your opponent to get the offensive rebound and second chance points. Exactly what they got there.
It's just so hard trying to box out Pampanga. You have the number 1 rebounder in Balti Baltazar, and then you have JB Bahio creeping from behind. Not to mention, they have their athletic guards soaring as well from the outside.
Well, playoff-wise, it's actually a +6 advantage on the rebounds for Pampanga, averaging 49 per game versus that 43 for San Juan. So there you really see that difference in terms of glass action in favor for, of course, the Giant Lanterns.
So now, speaking of Giants, JB Bahio will take a breather. Pasok dito. Luis Sanggalang lang naman. One of the mid-season additions of Pampanga, but he has been a starter for multiple games already. Inside scoring, a +10 for the home team. Marwin Taiwan goes to E.G. Boy Mojica against MJ Garcia. Feed to Zach Huang, and the lefty touch works.
Yeah, and I like this inserted back on the floor, Zach Huang and Nocum with against Archie and Luis Sanggalang.
15-9. Encho Serrano asking for the clear out against E.G. Boy Mojica. Step back, 3-pointer, that's short. Rebound San Juan. Here's Marwin, spinning his way out of the defense onto Yambing. Will stops, mid-range, yes.
Well, Will Yambing's a very young guy, but you have a coach that allows you to play that way. And so that confidence that you have in them, you know, sinusuklian mo lang ng results sa loob ng floor.
That's 5 quick points already for Will Yambing in this game. And more importantly, the lead is down to 4.
Right. And primarily because they're making it difficult now for that entry pass to happen. Sure, Balti Baltasar was able to triple penetrate, but it wasn't an easy attack.
This was the spin earlier by Adrian Nocum. He wasn't met by Balti, leading on to his Easy 2 points. Now there's a dribbling violation committed by John Lloyd Clemente.
So dito na pumapasok yung experience sa hirap ng series nitong San Juan. I mean, you were down huge, but you know, unti-unti lang. Just keep chipping away until we get back and get momentum.
To your point, we saw this a lot against Nueva Ecija, especially in Palayan City,
Right.
where Nueva Ecija had, you know, their crowd again roaring for them. But San Juan would always have a nice answer,
Right.
just like this 9-2 run of theirs. Adrian Nocum against Encho Serrano. Step back, no basket. Nice tap. Marvin fakes, Marvin feeds. Zach leans in, and that's a foul by Balti.
Boy, what a fishing expedition there by Zach Juan. Can he make that shot inside? Yes. But did he make it more difficult so that, you know, Balti Baltasar bites in? Yes, he did that too. And so he could have gotten with an end one too.
Balti ultimately caught the arm of Zach Juan. Imagine if they can actually put Balti Baltazar in foul trouble.
Right. And so if you're a team that wants to beat Pampanga, you gotta go back to that Batangas game. That really has been the best template of how to beat Pampanga with Balti Baltasar. Get him into all the actions defensively, and so that eventually later on in the game, he gets tired.
And just to remind everybody, Pampanga has only lost twice in the season. The first one against Batangas, just as you mentioned. The second one against Makati, that happened in Muntinlupa. That's a clear foul.
Yep.
2 free throws for Luis Sangalang.
On the other end, yan naman ang magiging problema ng San Juan. If you keep letting them get to those offensive rebounds, chances are you're going to be jumping up because they are the ones really dominating the paint all series long in all their series and even in the eliminations.
By the way, that's 3 fouls already for EG Boy Mojica in this game. Not the best start that you would want. EG Boy, even though we're happy to see him off of that knee injury that he had in the previous series, he has to make sure that he can stay on the floor. Now he has to be replaced as Jeff Avillonar checks in for the first time.
Now, people coming off the bench para dito sa San Juan, they got to produce. It's the bench points actually na medyo Waterloo nitong San Juan. And so maybe you don't contribute on the point side, but other stats, you got to give something.
Here's Jeff from the corner. Good look. An air ball. Balti now just secured the possession for Pampanga. Here's Encho on the run. Serrano saw an opening. No foul there, but he scores.
Again, like what we talked earlier, primarily a scorer. He looks for those points. He looks for those gaps for him to score, speaking of Encho.
18-13. Marvin Taiwan was fouled by one of the veteran players of Pampanga in Raymond Binuya.
As Raymond Binuya actually got to talk to him before the game, and he told me we got to win this very first game because he understands that both of these teams actually coming off a 4-game winning streak. And so if you're first loss in game 1, ano magiging impact nun sa team? How do you come back in game number 2?
And he knows that game number 2 will not happen here in Pampanga.
Right.
It will happen in the venue of that guy, Senator Jinggoy Estrada, on Tuesday in the Phil-Oil Eco Oil Center. But Senator Jinggoy continues to struggle with the free throws of San Juan. He is the most animated guy every time we see a miss off of these nights. Actually, nabalitaan ko, Coach Mike, no, na mas mahigpit na sila sa kanilang training sessions in terms of their free throw shooting.
Right.
Ang ginagawa sa kanila, each one would shoot 3. If you miss 1, that's 1 wall that you have to run. You miss 2, 2 walls. If you miss 3, suicide ka agad. Marvin Taiwan, 3-pointer. That's good.
Marvin Taiwan is one of those gems coming off the bench. That's pretty huge para dito sa Knights. And so if he continues to perform that way and he stays on the floor without fouling, he's going to be really good tonight.
He's been clutch in the past couple of games for San Juan against Nueva Ecija, making those 3-pointers usually from corners, as now we just saw a wonderful block by Adrian Nocum against Encho Serrano.
Well, that just goes to show you the athletic jumping ability of Itonsi Nocum. Look at that. Timed that pretty well and waited for that shot to go up before he went up to block it.
And that's a nice matchup between 2 all-stars in our league. And there's the 3-pointer by Marvin Taiwan off of the wing. Balti from downtown.
We said that the keys to the coverage is to feed the giant, no matter where he is on the floor, including the 3. And so if he hits those shots from the outside, he's going to be a long night for San Juan.
That's the first make from Curryland for Pampanga out of 7 tries. Balti now has 7 points and 6 rebounds early in this game. But there was a foul on the other end as William Ming will now proceed to the line. There's the 3 by Balti Baltazar.
You like that actually, Balti confidently went to that corner 3 and took it. Didn't even bother to shot fake. He knew that nobody was going to block him from up there, and he took it.
Oh, he, after all, has played small forward numerous times
Right.
in his collegiate team, in our national team as well.
Right.
Yambing just made his first free throw. Pasok dito si Reeb Ugsang. This is going to be a big test for Reeb because in their previous game, he was put in for 1 possession. He turned the ball over, and he never saw action again.
Right. And you like how yung athletic ability rin itong si Reeb is a really good jumper. Mataas lumundag, really good athletic ability as well. But again, it boils down to boxing out players before you actually jump up high for rebounds.
Senator Jinggoy Estrada giving out some instructions at the sideline. It's now Louis Sangalang who will be tested at the free throw line. First one is good, 22-18, and 34 seconds remaining.
Actually, if you get Louis starting here and really good dito sa game na to, it gives another perspective on the offensive ploys of the Giant Lanterns. And it opens up a lot of avenue for them.
Yes, the ultimate ability to make life so much easier for Balti Baltazar. 23-18, 30 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. This is game number 1 of the North Division Finals. Adrian Noco bumps his way through.
Little separation, initiated that contact, and just pulled it up.
Down to 16 seconds, no more shot clock. Encho against Adrian Noco.
Wait for that cross screen here for Balti.
8 seconds. Balti now showing up. He passes on to Sangalang. There's the spin. Great block by San Juan. Now there's a whistle blown with 1 second remaining. Foul called on Adrian Noco, which means free throws for Raymond Binuya.
Yeah, and again, a lot of times, no, maaring dikit itong game na to. Pero napakaraming pagkakataon na naitakbo na sana sa kabila ng San Juan. They play really good defense, but they just couldn't end it with a possession turned over to their hands.
First free throw is no good for Raymond Binuya, one of the OGs of the Pampanga Dong and Giant Lanterns. That's why he's now a team captain for Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda. A lot of trust on his shoulders. Last year, he also showed up big in the North Division semifinals against Nueva Ecija. Second free throw is good. That's his first point in this game. 1 second remaining. Yambing firing from half court. That's no good. And that should do it for our opening frame in the North Division Finals. It's only a 4-point separation.
Yeah, and if you look at it, sinabi natin kanina na yung last Elims games nila didn't really matter much. This is actually a feel-out quarter for both of them to understand ano pa yung ploys and schemes ninyo, because now we're competing, and like in that game where we were really just playing. Now it's complete. Now is the time. Now expect the second quarter to be a lot different when we start that.
There you see some highlights in the opening frame. Pampanga actually led by as many as 11 at the start of this game. But San Juan, as you mentioned, they're battle-tested already, so they're used to these types of moments and this type of pressure coming in from not only Balti, but the rest of the Kapampangans inside the Brenzi Giao Convention Center.
defend without fouling, you depend a lot on your starters. And so your starters got to be free from foul trouble.
This assist of the game is brought to you by Nexus 88 Gaming.
Up there in terms of production. They're definitely number one. Rebounds as well, that's expected. Assists, you know, yung facilitation through Balti Baltasar on the post, really, that's one thing that's good for them. And samantalang dito naman sa San Juan, 5th on assists, but you know, just 79.7 points allowed for the opponents. Medyo mabigat rin yun if you give it up that much points.
I like the fact that we are featuring the top 2 scoring teams in the whole of the Mpbl. And you can see the first quarter field goal shooting percentages. Remember, San Juan began 1 out of 8 from the field. So ever since, they've been 6 out of 8.
Yeah, and ang ano dyan is yung percentage nila for the two series really at 39%. Now they're a +1 coming off that first quarter, lalo na off that slow start.
There's an early foul here in the second frame. Just to recap, we have 2 players in foul trouble already. Michael Calisan has 2 and E.G. Boy Moica has 3 for the San Juan Knights, as John Lloyd Clemente is now shooting free throws. Just made his first one, the former top scorer of the NU Bulldogs in the UAAP. As you get to see Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda, his free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Second free throw missed by JLC.
Actually, si JLC is trying to build off that last performance in the second game against Caloocan, where he got 14 points and 6 assists. You know, he's trying to get some momentum, especially as he get into the national, in the division finals, and then hopefully in the national finals.
There's a traveling violation called on one of Coach Randy Alcantara's players, as now Michael Calisaan returns. Same goes for Nico Panganiban. Joining them are Reef Ugsang, Marvin Taiwan, and Adrian Nocom. For Pampanga, we have Raymond Binuya, Encho Serrano, Luis Angalang, Ronan Santos, and John Lloyd Clemente. Here's Louis. Lob, not the best of passes, but good smarts there by Encho Serrano.
Not the best of passes and not the best of angles, actually. Hindi maganda yung angle na yun. Could have gone dribble handoff na lang sana on the 2 side instead of forcing that lob.
Good thing Encho was able to bounce that ball off of a 9. Unfortunately, they now throw it away. Panganiban is blocked by Sanggalang. San Juan recovers. Marvin, that's his spot. The corner 3.
Tsaka yan talaga ang gusto mo pagdating dito sa San Juan. Get that ball, push it up front, and get shots up. Hopefully get offensive rebounds, get another kick out too.
Foul on the other end, na ibaba ni Bugsang ang kanyang mga kamay against Encho Serrano. 2 fouls now on Reeve as we take a look at this kick out by Calisaan onto Marvin Taiwan. Remember, back in that first game between San Juan versus Nueva Ecija, it was that very spot wherein Marvin Taiwan just iced the ball game up for San Juan against the Rice Vanguards.
And naalala ko, sinabi nga ni Javi, ang pinaka-the best na gawin mo pag nag-offensive rebound ka, immediately kick it out to an open 3 because scramble yung defense. Everybody's out there in the paint trying to get that rebound, and you have 3-pointers outside that's free to take those shots.
Offensive rebound for Encho Serrano. 26-23, Sanggalang, 3-pointer, too strong, rebound Nocom. And here comes Marvin, no numbers, had to slow down, 2-man game. Taiwan, onto Calisaan. Ooh, risky pass, San Juan recovers, 12 on the shot clock. Taiwan driving, Taiwan missing.
Well, good help defense right there para sa Giant Lanterns on that layup shot.
Good help as well by Taiwan as he forces the turnover off of Raymond Binuya.
Yeah, nakita mo yung palabas na yung bola pero hinahabol pa rin ni Taiwan because they want live turnovers. And a live turnover actually means the defense is not set up on the other end, so you can make a run for it.
You did say you're expecting San Juan to run more in this game compared to the Giant Lanterns. Some people might think that Pampanga is definitely younger than San Juan, but in the eyes of these Knights, according to them, in their perspective, magkaka-age lang tayong lahat dito. Walang lugi in terms of physical condition. As Panganiban passes to Ubalde, that's a nice look.
Agree. That definitely is a nice look. You try to drive on the baseline with that big guy open in the middle, just sneak it in there. Good move too by Balde.
Baltazar gets the bounce. Back and forth we have gone.
Nagpahirap na umiscore siya sa isang end. Pagbalik niya, babantayan ko pala si Balde. Medyo mabigat.
Again, we are featuring the top 2 scoring teams in the Mpbl. It's now 28 to 25. 2.5 minutes gone by in the second. Marvin Taiwan pulls up. That's too strong. Rebound MJ. Garcia is stopped. Garcia still drives and kicks. 15 on the shot clock. Baltazar fakes. Baltazar fades. That's short. Rebound Tolentino. But then he lost the ball.
Well, how about that move by Baltazar? I mean, that's a guard move altogether. You dribble penetrate on a stride strap, shot fake, attempt for a shot.
Now let's dribble, penetrate, and kick out to Mika Abesamis for her report.
Poste at offensive rebounds ang problema ng San Juan Knights pagdating sa Giant Lantern so far. They gotta improve on taking care of their guy. And speaking of improvement, Marvin Taiwan talked to me about how he has been trying to improve on his leadership on the court, lalo na pag wala si Orlan Vamar. I think you talked about this with Javi Miggs na sa sobrang efficient backup ni Marvin, minsan ay sabay na sila sa floor. He also talked about how his heart and desire paid off against the Rice Vanguards, which he is so far mirroring here. Marvin started playing basketball when he was 5 at isang problema daw talaga niya dati pa ay confidence, which he is gaining little by little alongside Orlan Vamar. Miggs, Coach Mike.
Right now, Orlan Omar just made a 3-pointer, first and 1, making Marvin Taiwan happy at the bench as he gets a well-deserved breather. Marvin definitely has come a long way in terms of his Mpbl career. He used to be the star of the Nabotas clutch. It's definitely different when you're part of a championship team. You transition into being a role player as MJ Garcia makes a 3-pointer. But now, if I can add to what Mika just said, yes, we're seeing Orlan Mamar on the floor with Marvin Taiwan lots of times nowadays. That rings the bell for Renzo Subido to also step up off the bench. Now he would have to fill in the shoes of Marvin Taiwan in that 6-man role.
I definitely agree. And so if there's one guy that can do it, I think Renzo Subido is actually very much capable of adding firepower to the backcourt of the San Juan Knights.
Let's see if Renzo will be put in the game by Coach Randy Alcantara later on. But right now, as far as Coach Randy is concerned, Orlan Mamar and Marvin Taiwan are playing oh so well against MJ Garcia and company. The back and forth continues. It's now 33 to 28 with 5 minutes and 52 remaining before halftime. Off the bench, Adrian Rockham drives, spins, and scores. This move of the game is brought to you by Nexus 88 Gaming. Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda as the Pampanga head coach finished with the best record in the 2023 regular season, only losing to Batangas and Makati. This is the first division finals appearance of the Pampanga Lanterns in franchise history, and they're gunning for the national finals and the 5th season title of the Mpbl. Right now, as we are concerned with Pampanga, let's hear from Gianna Llanes.
Pag-control daw ng 1-2-3 offense ng San Juan ang naging focus sa ensayo ng Pampanga kahapon. Playing with ease daw talaga kasi ang kailangan ni Governor Delta Pineda sa players niya. Pinayuhan niya sila na sa series na ito, huwag ma-distract sa crowd, huwag gumante pag may nasaktan at huwag mapikon sa kadalasan physical na laro ng kalaban. Wala daw experience ang koponan niya na makarating sa division final so far, so mindset was everything for their preparations. He told them, this team is not easy to beat. In fact, their sole purpose of being here is to beat us. Dadaan sila sa butas ng karayong para magawa yun, so let's give them a good fight. Back to you guys.
That makes me ask you, Coach Mike, would you actually say that there really is a big jump in terms of the level of competition being faced by Pampanga now that they're in the division finals.
Yeah, definitely. And nakikita mo naman yan sa performance ng Pampanga. I mean, different players rising up and helping out Balti Baltasar and company. You know, JLC, MJ Garcia, Bahio. You know, these guys are really contributing.
Let's see if they can survive the ultimate test that is San Juan, as AC Soberano makes a three-pointer. That's his first 3 points in this game. It's a 5-point advantage.
And looking at the stats, they're 5 of 9 now from 3, which is almost 50%. Really good numbers para dito sa San Juan Knights. 3 out of 10 naman ng Pampanga.
That's more than 50%.
Right.
Turnover on the other end by Neil Tolentino. Charge on him as Yambing now gets ready to inbound. He works with Orlan Mamar, Michael Calisan, AC Soberano, and Joseph Ubalde. Arvin Santos is about to check in.
Tsaka pag tinignan mo yung stats, Mix, they're doing better actually on bench points. Itong San Juan, so they just got to work on the other stat lines.
Well, that's what you have been asking from them, as Joseph Ubalde misses a gimme. Let me say this though, this should be the game where Ubalde is experiencing the most responsibility coming from Coach Randy Alcantara, as unfortunately he gave up a layup on the other end for JB Bahio.
Not only that, the length of playing time and the accountability. Oh, what a pass!
Alley-oop coming from Orlan Mamar onto Will Yambing. 8 points now for Will in this game, coming off the bench. He's one of those spark plugs, giving them the advantage in that category.
Boy, you look at that, just backdoored Archie Concepcion out of the way for that clear alley-oop. And what vision by Orlan Mamar. We talked about him being a facilitator first before a scorer, and that's proof right there.
That trims the lead down to 5 points. 3 minutes and 58 to go before halftime. Coach Randy Alcantara was the champion coach in the second season of the Mpbl, and he has reached the division finals in 4 straight seasons, in all of the 4 seasons of San Juan here in our league. Just a testament to the legendary coaching ability of Coach Randy, at least here sa Liga ng Bawat Pilipino. But then again, in the past couple of seasons, he had a different core with the likes of John Clarito, John Wilson, Mike Ayanayon, and Larry Rodriguez. Now he has other people leading the way as Balti Baltasar leads the way for Pampanga on the other end.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. Coach Randy is one of the really good strategists from the bench. And regardless kung sino yung personal niya, his system is going to be able to at least compete with other teams, given how he runs it.
7 on the shot clock now for Soberano. They go to Zach. Orlan, that's a good look. Just short, and there is a pushing foul committed. Zach Wang seems to have gotten hurt. It's a foul on him. First foul by Zach Wang. He has to be careful. Again, Calisan has 2, and Moica has 3.
Akala kasi nila papasok na yung tira ni Orlan Mamar. Napaka-clear na yung shot.
Turnover forced. San Juan on the run. Mamar tried to feed the ball. Instead, he turned it over. Pampanga on the run. Balti Baltasar! No jam, no foul. Counter fast break opportunity. Orlan for 3. Too strong. Rebound Calisaan. Cutter was there, but good hands, or better hands by Arvin Santos on the defensive sequence.
2 consecutive turnovers forced by San Juan, and twice they missed on opportunities for 4 points for turnovers. That's what they gotta work on. I mean, you're passing that ball, but you have to be able to ensure na hindi madi-deflect yung mga pasa na yun.
Baseline inbound now for William Bing. Nice bounce at Calisaan, but a nicer block by JB Bahio. Counter. No steal there. Here's Archie Concepcion against AC Soberano. Pampanga up by 7. Archie, step back. That's a foul.
Kita mo kung gaano kalaking attention ang binibigay ni Balti Baltasar on that two-man action. He was the one who was screening. Two defenders had to go down to the rolling Balti Baltasar and eventually had to close out long on that shot by Archie Concepcion. Eventually, foul. Yun yung pressure that you get if you have Balti moving around on the offensive end.
Archie is now getting ready to shoot free throws. Enzo Serrano has returned, and now Renzo Subido has made his way for the first time in this game. He talked about him as a guy who has to potentially replace the role of Marvin Taiwan now that Marvin has advanced his role for Coach Randy Alcantara. And it actually came from Marvin, folks, that he would want Renzo to step up among all of his teammates in this lineup of the Knights. It's 41-33.
And I think rightfully so kasi very capable naman si Renzo to do that. He's a good shooter, also a point guard, got really good basketball IQ.
Oh, it's going to be just a matter of time, Coach Mike, that Renzo will again be pouring in with his three-point shots as Calisaan scores inside.
And so far, I like that San Juan Knight is actually attacking that defense on the perimeter by Balti Baltasar. And you gotta make him work defensively so that on the offensive side, medyo may pagod factor konti.
Ball out of bounds. It's tapped away by San Juan. As we have a timeout called by the Pampanga Giant Lanterns to calm everybody down here inside the Brenzy Giao Convention Center. We are approaching the last 2 minutes before halftime. It's 41-35. We have our Mpbl VIPs, Executive Officer Joe Ramos, together with his family at the sideline. Head of Security Rudy Distrito, Commissioner Kenneth Duremdes, the Hamoras, Raymond and Seth. And we also have Head of Basketball Operations, Emer Oreta, present with us here in San Fernando, Pampanga. Take a look at this replay. JB Bahio able to escape with that 1-2 move for the Giant Lanterns. It's so nice that you have to see it again.
Yes. I was gonna say the same thing. So, ganda, kailangan panoorin mo ulit.
Tagalog lang yun sa'yo, Coach Mike.
Yun yung sasabihin ko.
We thank you for joining us. That's Coach Mike Perez that you just heard. My name is Mix Gomez, and we also have Gianna Llanes and Nika Abesames present with us here in game number 1 of our North Division Finals. Archie dancing with AC. Step back, no good. Rebound, Adrian Noco.
Now you gotta go back and score here.
Here's Ren Subido. Now they go to Zach Wang. Zach to AC. Did he walk? Oh, there was a whistle blown. Some contact on the other end. The foul by Adrian Noco.
I don't know if I saw that correctly, but I think that's the very first time I've seen Coach Randy Alcantara do that ploy offensively when he had that guy shallow cut and do a flare screen for the wing guy para maka-3. Grabe talaga basketball mind si Coach Randy Alcantara.
And then again, it happens a lot in the playoffs, right? You tend to make new plays against new matchups. Actually, minsan nga may adjustments in series eh.
Tsaka normally, hindi malalaki yung mga changes. Little tweaks lang on the base schemes that you have because you don't want to confuse your players what you want to execute on both ends.
There's now a warning on Arvin Santos for unsportsmanlike behavior. It's 41-35, 90 seconds before halftime. So Bidam misfires. Rebound Bahio. JB goes to Encho. Now it's Archie onto the Spider-Man against Nokum. They go to JB. Encho's trying to seal against Renzo Subido. Double team. Nice cut, nice speed. Balti fakes. Balti scores.
for the most part, it's not the initial action that gets you the point of attack. It's actually that swing part. And you see that other guy coming in on the other side with that much man movement, you're gonna get that opportunity to score.
By the way, we're still in the first half, and yet Baltazar already has 13 points and 12 rebounds to his name. Spider-Man misses, and there's a loose ball foul called on JB Bahio. Coach Randy is furious.
Yeah, and this gym would have exploded if that shot by Arvin went in.
Oh yeah.
That much momentum.
Actually, a lot of people have been waiting for Arvin Santos to step on the gas in terms of his gameplay here in the MPBL. Of course, he has been taking it light on his body. He has to make sure that he's not going to get injured. He is, after all, a late addition for the Kapampangas. Zach Wang given the space. He goes to Renzo. That's a shot. Just too strong. Rebound Zach. 23 seconds. Kalisaan passes to Noko, who fakes and scores.
They really have so much respect for the defensive capability of Baltazar. Seeing that shot fake, kahit na nakatalikod si Balti, kailangan gawin mo pa rin to make sure na hindi ka masusupalpal eh.
13 assists now for San Juan in the first half. Santos fakes, 1 second, and that's it. A high-octane first half for game number 1 of the North Division Finals, 43-37. But boy, our leading MVP candidate, Baltazar, continues to give us majestic performances here in the MPBL. In only 2 quarters of play, he already has a double-double.
And more importantly, he closed out the quarter really strong. I mean, yung mga rebounds na yon at yung mga basket that he had inside, none more spectacular than those inside incursions in that 3 on the corner that he had earlier. But about this one, this shot fake underneath, getting by 2 defenders.
Baltazar averages 17 points and 17 rebounds. He's on pace for another 20-20 game here in the MPBL. It's 43-37 at halftime, as now we recap our last game in Batangas.
Welcome to your MPBL recap, and we are just coming off a very, you know, a thrilling series no natapos na dito between Batangas and Jensen, and Batangas City Embassy Chill. They are back in the South Division Finals to face the Bacoor City Strikers. Coach JV, it was a 66-62 win for Batangas. What was your initial reaction to that result?
Before the game started, tinanong sa atin kung sino mananalo, hindi natin masagot. Very unpredictable. We couldn't really answer who would win tonight. We just had to wait, like all of you, to see who played better.
Yeah, and it was actually Batangas who got off to a strong start compared to their Game 2 performance. And you know, eventually they took an 11-point lead, and in the second half, actually also had a sizable lead, but etong Jensen just refusing to give up, and we were treated to a very exciting end game.
Great game.
Saan ang Batangas, you know, able to wrap it up with a big defensive play. Galing kay King Importante, a huge block on Micol Sorella, with Batangas up by only 2 points.
Oo nga, exciting kasi hindi heroic 3-pointer, pero block ang nakita natin.
And Levy Hernandez also had a good contribution, siya yung best player of the game, and si John Ambuluto and Seda Blasa also chipping in para dito sa Batangas City Embassy Chill, which is now back in the South Division Finals against Bacoor. And that's it for your MPBL recap. Tapos si Dav Tupas with Coach JV Gayoso. Subaybayan nyo ang MPBL North and South Division Finals dito lang sa aming Facebook page, YouTube channels, and all our other platforms. Maraming salamat po.
Kapag may labay nagkakaisa, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging Dahil sa husay ng bawat isa, sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Ang bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. may labay nagkakaisa, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Mpbl na! Mpbl na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Mpbl na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Mpbl na! Mpbl na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Mpbl na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas, at Mindanao. Mpbl, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Ang bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Mpbl na! Mpbl na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Mpbl na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin.
Archie Concepcion bounces to Balti, and that's the first Balti slam in the semifinals. Going to MJ, Garcia will fly! Up, and away.
Sa lahat ng aking mga kababayan, mga kabalin, inimbitahan ko po kayo na patuloy na suportahan ang inyong Pampanga Giant Lanterns sa kanilang paglaban sa North Division Finals dito sa 2023 Mpbl Playoffs. Salamat po sa patuloy na pagtangkilik sa Mpbl, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Maraming salamat.
As MJ drives, there's the kick out. Santos for 3. Yes, sir. It is halftime here in Pampanga for game number 1 of the North Division Finals in the Mpbl. It's Pampanga versus San Juan with the score reading 43-37. And we did expect a lot of great exchanges, especially as we feature the top 2 scoring teams in the whole of our league. But Coach Mike, I'd like to get your thoughts and some stats that you would like to point out after 2 quarters.
Well, speaking of field goal percentage, pag tinignan mo, above the playoff average itong Pampanga, they're shooting 45%. Normally, mga 40% lang sila. San Juan's actually down. Their normal numbers are 39%. They're only right now at 36. Rebounds, expected na yan. They're gonna get that to Pampanga. It matters you keep that closer. Steals, they got their steals, but they're not turning it into points of turnovers. And lastly, yung bench points, I want to point out that San Juan is actually doing really good. Help from the bench, getting 24 versus that of only 10 para dito sa Pampanga.
Which is obviously a big deal, having talked about the fact that San Juan is top-heavy. You know, they do have a formidable starting 5 with a couple of good bench players, but depth-wise, we talked about the depth of Pampanga as one of the deepest that the league has ever seen in its history. There you see William Bing, a guy coming off the bench for Coach Randy, leading the way in terms of scoring. Marvin Taiwan off the bench as well. Adrian Nocum off the bench as well. The lone starter is Joseph Ubalde in the top scorers list for San Juan. On the other hand, we have JB Bahia with 7, Archie Concepcion with 6, MJ Garcia with 5, and we have to leave Justin Baltazar for last because we also have to mention his rebounds. He has 12 rebounds with 13 points already in 2 quarters of play. Again, he's on pace to have a 2020 game dito sa Liga ng Bawat Pilipino. As you get to see, Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda proudly representing the Kapampangans, and Senator Jinggoy Estrada proudly representing the San Juaneños. Before we begin, I'd like to give big shout-outs to Senior Deputy Speaker Congressman Don Gonzales, Team Owner Manager AJ Gonzales, City Councilor Brent Gonzales, and Senior Board Member Miga Gonzales of Pampanga. Good evening to our VIPs. As we begin our 3rd frame, Jason Apolonio is now on the floor alongside MJ Garcia, Balti Baltazar, Archie Concepcion, and Louis Sangalang. On the other hand, for San Juan, Joseph Ubalde is trying to cover Balti again as he works with William Bing, Zach Wang, Adrian Nocum, who gets the steal, and Orlan Wamar. Here's Yang Bing. He fakes and fires. That's a miss. Loose ball foul. It's on Pampanga.
Well, that's what you like if you're San Juan. No? Get that defensive rebound and push it the other way. Right there, makita mo, medyo late dumating si Balti Baltazar, so wala masyadong rim protection, but you have to make your shots eventually.
There's si AJ Gonzales, the team owner and manager of the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. 6-point game. Orlan going to Joseph Ubalde. Back to Orlan. 4 on the shot clock. He has to make some magic. Leaner, too strong. Rebound, Zach Wang. Zach feeds Ubalde. Free throw jumper. That's short. Battle for the loose ball. It ends up with San Juan. Orlan staying patient. Wamar passes. That's a turnover.
Well, except for that turnover, nakita mo yung athletic ability talaga nito si Zach Wang. The ability to be able to locate those offensive rebounds. But again, it really boils down to getting that ball in the hoop.
Foul on the other end as Balti tried to score. It's always a tough journey on the court when you're facing the league's top guy as Balti now proceeds to the line. And again, let's reiterate that Michael Calisaan had 2 early fouls in this game, although that's it for him. Wala naman na siyang foul after that, and AG Boy Moica has 3. As now, We hear from Gianna Llanes for this report about Pampanga.
Migs and Coach Mike, aminado si Governor Delta na hindi siya masaya sa performance ng players niya bago mag-halftime. Pero habang lamang pa sila, may pagkakataon pa daw na mas maganda pa ang takbo ng laro. Ang pinag-usapan niya ang depensa ng San Juan na sobrang tight daw ang nangyayari na daw ay nado-double team ang shooter kaya nahihirapan sila. In-expect daw nila na talagang tatakpan si Balti kaya take advantage daw doon with handoffs, ball fakes at spacing. Gov Delta tells his players before going back into the game after the halftime huddle, gamitin natin ang utak natin dahil nasa foul trouble na ang San Juan. 2 quarters pa, kaya walang susuko. Back to you guys.
There you go, the foul trouble being highlighted by Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda. But Gianna also talked about the tight defense by Coach Randy Alcantara's squad. Are you actually really impressed with what they have showed so far?
Yeah, actually, yes. Ang issue lang talaga dito is that they're not converting those points of turnovers like this one. We'll see what happens here.
Yambing, that's a walk. There you go, right on cue.
That's exactly what we were saying. They're forcing them into turnovers, getting them on live situations, pushing that ball the other end, but, you know, they're bothered. They couldn't finish off. Kaya pag din na may fast break points na, look, they only have 5 fast break points in the first half, which is very low considering that they forced how many turnovers? 9 turnovers.
And you have been wanting them to run all the more as compared to Pampanga in this game. It's 45-37. Almost 2 minutes gone by in the third. Sanggalang spins. Sanggalang scores.
Well, it's going to be very difficult to stop Balti Baltasar on that right block. Kahit anong gawin mo, it's very difficult. Pasa, tira, whatever, that's his comfort zone. You got to push him outside of his comfort area and get him to situations where he can't do his tendencies.
And it's also pretty difficult to stop Luis Sanggalang when he goes left.
Tama ka naman to.
Archie Concepcion, that short. And here's San Juan on the run. Can they finally capitalize? 3-on-3. Wamar for 3. That's good.
Or finally, they get something out of transition. Exactly what their plan should be. A defensive rebounds, push other way, then score. Then go back again and defend.
Wamar now has 2 3-pointers in this game. A miss by Apolonio. Rebound Sanggalang. Out of action inside. Nopum goes down. No foul called. And here's Zach Wang. Counter steal. That's a foul. Nagkatamaan sina Zach Wang at MJ Garcia. It looks like both of them are hurt.
And awkwardly falling down too on that sideline action. See here this move inside by Louis. Boy, beautiful drop step on a left-hand finish.
One more angle, taking right, going left, his strong side. Zach Wang should know about that. He's a lefty too. 47-40, 3 minutes gone by in the third frame. MJ Garcia is still on the floor.
Doon pa lang kanina nakita natin na makes yung domination on the paint area para dito sa Pampanga. That was what? 3 offensive rebounds altogether in that last sequence.
It's a +12 already in terms of points in the paint in this game for Pampanga. Now let's update your keys to victory for the Knights.
Well, first, stick to the Giant plan. I don't think they're doing a good job. They're just allowing Balti Baltasar to get that ball on the area that he's very comfortable. We talked about that earlier on the right block. Second, you score on live turnovers. You're getting steals, but you're not scoring on the other end. And lastly, defend without fouling. And, you know, Kalisaan and other players being in foul trouble, yun ang naging challenge na. So, really, it's just the live turnovers that could have been more para sa San Juan if they produced better.
On the other hand, for Pampanga, let's evaluate.
Well, in terms of feeding the Giant, definitely nandun yun. Napakadaling nakakarating yung bola kay Balti Baltasar. He's moving well without the ball and he's getting it on the low block. To dominate the paint, definitely. They've been leading the rebounds and they've been getting what? 9 offensive rebounds already in the first half alone versus their total 13. And transition defense, that's something that they've done really well. Kasi kahit na nag-turnover na yung bola, binabalikan nila yung depensa kagad. Kaya hindi maka-points from turnovers. Ito nga San Juan.
It's been a nice duel so far between Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda and Coach Randy Alcantara. Right now, Coach Randy is letting Michael Calisan lead the huddle for San Juan alongside his assistant coaches. We have a coach's challenge.
Upon review, the challenge was successful.
And it is successful for Coach Randy as they get ball possession of that out-of-bounds play. Let's see what happened in that previous sequence. Let's see. Looks like Balti got hit in the face for a while there.
Yeah, definitely off of Balti right there.
So just out of bounds. Baseline inbound for Nico Panganiban. Balti is still on the floor. Joining Luis Angalang, Enzo Serrano, Archie Concepcion, and Jason Apolonio as Zach Wang scores.
Always love that baseline out of bounds play para dito kay Coach Randy. Moving shooters going outside from the middle and seeing if that middle lane's open right there. Zach Wang caught it.
Ooh! Not a good pass there by Enzo Serrano as Balti is also unhappy with the play.
Yeah, medyo si Kalisaan bitapulit there. No? Medyo may konting tulak. Buti nila walang tawag.
This is a nice pass by Nico Panganiban finding the lefty, Zach Wang. He usually loves shooting the ball with only one hand.
Tsaka maganda doon yung pasa na look away.
Adrian Nocum soars. Boy, what a drive that was. And I'm sure you've noticed it since the first half. As much as San Juan respects the interior defense of Pampanga, they respect it by attacking it with the best of their ability. They're not scaring off of that defense by Balti and company.
Right, and there's a huge difference between respecting and fearing. And right now they respect that, but man, I'm gonna challenge that and see what happens. Look at that drive by Nocum right there.
So the same intensity was brought about by Adrian Nocum from Balti onto Luis Angalang, who challenged that play.
And I've always loved to see this matchup with Nocum and Archie Concepcion. These two guys are really good at putting that ball on the floor and really showing off their athletic ability once they go up and rise for those shots.
If you think about it, Adrian Nocum's story this year is a bit similar to Archie Concepcion's story last year. It's just that Adrian Nocum has Orlan Momar on his side, whereas last year Archie was the star for Pampanga when they still didn't have the likes of Enzo Serrano and Balti Baltazar. Well, speaking of Pampanga, a lot of people are behind their wonderful program. Mentioned 4 names a while ago. Now let's mention Mayor Rudin Gonzalez of Mexico, Governor Dennis Delta Pineda, their head coach, Vice Governor Lilia Nanay Pineda, Board Member Mylene Pineda, Mayor Philip Nagit of Binalin Pampanga, and Athletics Sports Apparel, as that previous foul by Pampanga is now called an unsportsmanlike foul. Let's see what happened again.
Because I think there was that second hit on the face. There you go.
Yung kaliwang kamay.
Yeah.
So Adrian Nocum is about to shoot free throws. By the way, no, RV Bringas is watching out there. RV of the Bataan Risers. Kasama si Jazz Panopio. Patiin din natin, happy birthday si Janice Belnas, asawa ni referee Jonald Belnas. As now, we listen in to Mika Abisamis for her report about San Juan.
Turnovers is clearly a thing for San Juan. They gotta work on taking care of the ball. Isa pa daw ang kanilang individual defense. Masyado daw maraming errors, so naaapektuhan ang kanilang team defense. They also need everyone to start contributing. Coach Randy needs more contributors, which he believes would be the only way against Pampanga. But I gotta give credit to Yambing, Taiwan, and Ubalde. Kanina nga, when I was approaching Orlan Wamar, sabi ni Joseph Ubalde sa akin, kailan mo ba ako i-interviewin? Kailangan ba galingan ko? At yan na nga, nagpapakita siya dito ngayong araw na to. But you know, one thing I really liked about that huddle was when Coach Randy told the boys na yes, mas malaki sila in terms of size. Pero naniniwala pa rin ako na mas malaki ang ating puso at ipakita natin yan dito sa second half. Mix, Coach Mike.
Well, after all, they do have hearts of champions here in the Mpbl. Talking about Jeff Tahonera, Joseph Ubalde, Orlan Omar, and Coach Randy Alcantara, and they're trying to rub off that championship culture onto the rest of their squad. As now we just saw 2 points come in for the Pampanga Giant Lanterns.
Yeah, and definitely yung pinakita nila doon sa dalawang series na yun against Makati and Nueva Ecija, just enough to show that they really got a fight inside themselves. And so itong deficit na to, just a 6-point deficit, 2-possession game, no problem, still in it.
And this has been the character of San Juan, even in that Nueva Ecija series. They just put themselves in a good position to win, as Luis Angalang just gave us that bucket. So I'm sure a lot of San Juan fans out there are still very comfortable watching this game as they enjoy it as well. How about that? A 3-pointer coming in from Nico Panganiban.
Just exactly what the doctor ordered. You got to hand it off to Nico. No way defended. Got to take that shot and make it.
49-46, Enzo Serrano doesn't get the bounce. Zach Juan with a tough board. And here comes Panganiban. The bounce to Nokum. He recovers. Adrian Nokum flies. And he's blocked by Balti. Counter run for Pampanga. They go to Archie. Concepcion to Serrano. To Balti. Baltazar down the middle. Basket and one.
Well, first off, if you're San Juan, you want Balti to be putting that floor right there on that spot so that you get to defend it. But the guy's talented. What can you say? He's able to get through the bump and finish off. Let's see this here. Puts it on the floor, gets that bump, hangs and finish with a one-hander.
Balti Baltazar in this game already has 17 points and 16 rebounds. And we still have close to 15 minutes of play in game number 1 as Balti misses from the stripe. He might have just asked for a substitution. Let's see what Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda will do. San Juan down by 6. Nice feed. Short stab, too strong for Zach Juan. Forward pass. Numbers for Pampanga. Archie lost the ball. And here comes Adrian Nokum. They go to Panganiban. The bounce to Calisan. Now to Nokum. Adrian scores.
Perfectly run fast break there for San Juan. Coaches would always tell you, if you don't have a lead pass, go swing it the other way and make that defense move side to side. And that defense came in late, kaya napashoot nila yun.
I remember you saying on air as Archie misses that cross-court passes are the best way to run the fast break. Ooh, bit of a scramble there, leading on to a turnover. And here's Orlan. Forward pass, Calisan. The easiest 2 points of the night for Mike.
And these Knights definitely got a lot of fight in them.
The lead is down to 2. Here's Balti Baltazar. Double team. He goes to JB. Bahio with a mismatch. Bahio is fouled. That's foul number 3 for Michael Calisan.
Grabe ang value na binibigay ni Bahio talaga. But meantime, look at this perfectly executed fast break right here. Calisan really just finishing it off. Turnovers, points off of them. Yun yung kailangan talaga gawin ng San Juan.
Let's see the tally right now. Turnovers. It's at 14 for Pampanga. Points off of turnovers. Now at 17 for San Juan compared to the 16 of Balti Baltazar and company. Now Balti takes a breather. Pasok dito si Arvin Santos. Same goes for John Noy Clemente and MJ Garcia as they join JB Bahio and Encho Serrano. Marvin Taiwan, on the other hand, has checked in to join Nico Panganiban, Michael Calisan, EG Boy Mojica, and Adrian Nokum. Now Ribug Sang will replace Michael Calisan, who has 3 fouls.
Tsaka si JB, kahit nabungguin mo, parang hindi naapektuhan, ano? He understands what's at stake in this game, and so he does not get all the noise affect him, and just doing his job inside the floor.
He just continues to be a star in the playoffs for Pampanga, the lone Cebuano in the sea of Kapampangans for the Giant Lanterns. 53-49. Panganiban drives. There's the kick out to one of the assistant coaches of San Juan. That's off of Pampanga, so San Juan will take possession.
Was that Yambing on the corner? Ano?
Not sure who you're pertaining to. Well, let's just proceed to the next play as Marvin Taiwan is being defended by MJ. Taiwan is fouled. 2 free throws.
I was pointing to Taiwan pala kanina. I thought it was Yambing on the corner. I was gonna say that Taiwan could actually have floated a little bit on the opposite wing para ma-free up yung corner kasi naka-load sa kanya yung corner defender. So that he gets a better shot at that 3. Then again, he makes it up with that really good dribble penetration. So, you know, move on to the next play. Ika nga.
Marvin just missed his first free throw. And each and every time San Juan misses a free throw, Senator Jingo Estrada gives us that face.
I remember this one.
This free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. What do you remember, Coach Mike?
I remember this one series game when I saw Senator Jingoy actually going on his knees after the successive missed free throws by San Juan.
Oh, he's been that funny, and he shall continue to be up until they win the championship. Spider-Man 3-pointer, that's long. Rebound JB Bahio against Ribug Sang. Bahio again showing us his athletic ability on the court. Nice dribbling skills. but he just missed. And here comes Adrian Nocom. 53-50, a one-possession game with under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Nico Panganiban. Nico finds himself open. That's too strong.
Yeah, they got to make that shot. If you're Nico, that defense went under. You have to finish.
On the other hand, that's a clear foul. The fourth foul of EG Boy Mojica, as now Encho Serrano and EG Boy got tangled up. Mojica has to be extra careful now.
Medyo hindi nagustuhan ni Encho, and actually both sila eh. Edgy Boy didn't like what happened right there. We see here, left hand finish. Mojica goes up, hits the face, goes down and lands straight onto the body of Mojica.
Which, of course, EG Boy did not like. So now the referees will have to review that previous sequence. And that gives us the time to greet your friend. Belated happy birthday to Engineer Edmond Aguas and Jeff Rock's club of, how do you pronounce this? Batang Second?
Batang Second of Saswan, Pampanga.
Alright, ganda gabi po sa inyo. Ron, Machine Gun, Guerrero, and kids. Pocho and Connor from Canada, they're watching as well. Good evening to you guys.
The foul has been upgraded into unsportsmanlike foul on EG Boy Mojica.
That's now an
fourth
unspoke
foul on EG Boy Mojica. 14th foul for San Juan Knights.
But still, 4 fouls now for EG Boy Mojica. One more before disqualification. Encho Serrano will shoot 2 free throws and ball possession for Pampanga after this sequence. There's the foul.
Yeah.
Mpbl kasi yung arm niya, no? Pupunta kay Encho.
Yeah. But how scary is Pampanga? I mean, Encho Serrano's silently contributing. I remember that one game. He had only, what, 2 points per quarter, and he suddenly exploded in the fourth to really create that separation for that win para dito sa Pampanga.
2 free throws made by Encho.
And you have that much firepower in Pampanga talaga pag tinignan mo. Powerhouse cast talaga.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the game wherein he was best player.
Yeah, right. That one.
Is that against Caloocan? Or it might have been against
Caloocan.
Marikina.
No, it's Caloocan.
Encho hangs in the air. He just missed. Bahio, 2 free throws for him.
There's just not enough said about JB Bahio.
There's a man on the floor. It's Yang Bing.
Bing's down on the floor.
Looks like he got hit on the face. Not sure what the fans are trying to say.
You know, I'm trying to figure it out.
We're not even gonna try to analyze it or understand it. Kasi nangyayari minsan na Kapampangan yung sinachat nila eh. Huwag na tayo magpakahirap dito. But we do want to give shoutouts to all of the Kapampangans watching, not only in this venue, as Gianna mentioned, no, they have some live stream viewing parties in other barangays. Let's see. Ayun, natamaan sa mukha.
Yeah.
And that allowed Encho to be open for his attempt. He eventually missed, but JB Bahio was there for the cleanup. William Bing, though, looks to be okay. He's going to shake it off.
Encho actually tried to misdirect him from going up, instead going backdoor at the last second. But yun nga, medyo tinamaan sa mukha. About this man right here, JB Bahio, just pretty solid for the Giant Lancers, especially in this third quarter action.
In the lineup filled with a lot of star power forwards for Pampanga, you have Arwin Santos, you have Luis Sangalang, Matt De Leon is still there. You know, who would have thought that JB Bahio would be their starter here in the playoffs? He's been that good, to your point. It's now 56-50. Marvin Taiwan against MJ Garcia. Taiwan escapes and he scores.
Very good read right there by Marvin Taiwan. I mean, he didn't wait for that stagger action anymore, saw that opening, so he took it.
10 points now for Marvin. Cross-court pass. MJ. 3-pointer. Too strong. That could have brought the house down. Encho Serrano. Mojica has 4 fouls. Serrano fades. No bounce. Rebound. Bahio. He misses. Encho with the board. Bahio. No bounce. Still no basket. Scrambled with a loose ball. It ends up with San Juan. Soberano goes to Taiwan. Ultimately, Marwin could not get the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mpbl playoff basketball, game number 1 of the North Division Finals. What you heard on national television is just a reflection of what the Mpbl is all about. Crowds roaring with the loudest of their voices off of scrambles on the court. You don't even know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, and they're not even, cheering that loud because of a three-point shot made or not a dunk that was made. It was actually offensive rebounds. Some coaches would argue you got to celebrate offensive rebounds that way because there's a lot of effort to get that ball back after you made a shot of them.
You have to love the Kapampangans for recognizing that effort. As Marvin Taiwan just got fouled. Forgive us because right now our ears are still recovering from the loud roars here inside the Brenzigao Convention Center.
And very clearly, itong Pampanga is basketball nation too. I mean, a lot of basketball players coming out of here, and they do understand their teams and the game as well.
56-52, Taiwan makes the first free throw. He's in double figures after already 11, as you get to see the bench players of Coach Randy Alcantara. The bench that you have been mentioning has come alive in this game. They've outscored the bench of Pampanga, now 32-16.
Pero if you're San Juan, you like where you are because you're only down, Down 2 points. And as much as marami kayong mga kailangang ayusin, you're still in it to win it.
Biggest lead was 11 early in this game. Ever since that quick comeback by San Juan, we've gone back and forth. Encho Serrano up top. Santos for 3. Too strong. Ball tap and saved to the wrong guy. 2-on-1. Taiwan. Zach Huang. 2 free throws.
But you see the maturity really and the experience of Arwin Santos. It was a 2-on-1 break. He just stayed home. Didn't commit to any one of them. He just stayed home and waited for that next action is gonna come. And so that layup by Zach Wang came in. He was really just one step away. Unfortunately, tinamaan niya yung kamay, but it really was good defense.
Zach Wang just made his first free throw. I hope we can also get a shot of Senator Jinggoy Estrada when a player of San Juan makes a free throw. And now he's a bit calm. He celebrated a lot better with the first make of Zach. We're all tied now, back to square one, 56 all. 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. JB Bahio against Joseph Ubalde. Bahio drives. Bahio, one-hander, no bounce. Rebound. What a battle inside. Still no basket. Neil Conempina scores.
Man, if you're a player right now, you want to have the jersey of the Giant Lanterns. I mean, the amount of support that you guys are getting just because of offensive rebounds, alam ko mahal na mahal nila yung team lang, mga players nila, and you know, they're just getting rewarded. Look at that. A good play right there.
And for sure, the fact that most of these players of Pampanga are homegrown, that factors in a lot in this game. For all you know, we're actually seeing the friends and family and maybe even the neighbors of our players, as now Mamar just went down as he looked to have gotten hit by Neil Tolentino, making Coach Randy very furious. He's on the court. 20 seconds to go. 2-second differential. Here's the franchise player of the San Juan Knights. Orlan drives. Orlan is fouled. Ooh! Now Taiwan just went down on the other side of the court. This is going to be a bit more challenging for our referees because the game has evolved this way, Coach Mike. We talked about this a lot all season long. It might be a matter of someone being too physical, or it might be a matter of someone flopping on the other hand.
Napakahirap ng sitwasyon na yun because number one, it affects the flow of the game, and you know it just gives a different complexion to how the game is being played. Orlan Mamar is right now 2 out of 10 from the field. Both his shot make attempts were actually from the three-point region. Hasn't made any from the perimeter, and there were instances when he was able to run out in the open floor but just couldn't make any. But you know, it's a good thing that he's starting now in the third quarter here.
That's actually the first free throw of Orlan Mamar in this game. Just made it to trim the lead.
2 points.
Referee Jonald Belnas just had a word with Encho Serrano and Marvin Taiwan. That's what you have to love. Fantastic job by Jonald Belnas, Alan Manzano, Edmar Avis, and Jay Castroverde handling this game as our officiating crew. 13 seconds to go. Panganiban returns. It's 59-58. This is just the third quarter.
Now you got to end the quarter strong with a really good defensive stop here, so to create a momentum coming the fourth quarter.
Encho Serrano will work with JB Bahio. Encho kicks. 5 seconds. Bahio, mid-range. That's good. 2 seconds to go. Marvin Taiwan has to fire. He will lose time. And so that will do it for our first 30 minutes in our division finals in the MPBL playoffs. It's 61-58, a one-possession game after 3.
Well, you got to call that the JB Bahio quarter. I mean, he was just all over the place. And look at this final shot made at the end of the third. Just punctuating all the effort that he's done in this quarter has been huge here para sa Giant Lanterns.
We talked about the double-double of Balti Baltazar in the first half. Now we have to talk about the double-double of JB Bahia. He has 12 points and 10 rebounds already across 3 quarters. 61-58 after 3.
Not only that, the length of playing time and the accountability. Oh, what a pass.
This assist of the game is brought to you by Nexus 88 Gaming. MJ drives, there's the kick out. Santos for 3. Yes, sir. Presenting our Suzuki muscular and sporty fans of the game. Just like the Avenix, do more and achieve more with the muscular and sporty scooter from Suzuki. The Avenix, oras na para magmotor. A couple of junior MPBL players for Pampanga present at the sideline. As we thank you for joining us, we are coming to you live from the Bren Zigiao Convention Center all the way up in San Fernando, Pampanga for game number 1 of the MPBL North Division Finals between Adrian Nocum and the San Juan Knights going up against Balti Baltazar and the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. It's only one possession separating these two teams, 61-58. Thank you for joining us. This is Mix Gomez alongside Mike Perez, Gianna Llanes, and Mika Abisames at your service for today. You see our quarter scoring.
Yeah, really good third quarter right there. Recovery para dito sa San Juan. Still pulling up and keeping pace in this game. Maraming kailangan ayusin katulad ng sinabi natin kanina, pero they're doing a good job of staying in there. But you gotta get over that hump and get that lead in this game.
JB Bahio, he's been amazing in this game for Pampanga. There's the drive. Bahio turns around, tough layup. No basket. San Juan will now run. They have numbers. Bomar to Taiwan, 3-pointer at the fast break. Oh my goodness.
I was going to say that this is actually going to be the quarter of Orlan Wamar, but him getting the other guys involved and continues to facilitate, mas napapagaan yung trabaho niya.
So now we're seeing another time wherein Taiwan and Wamar are on the court together as Valdi Baltazar answers back. He has 19 points and 17 rebounds. Taiwan, no good on the back-to-back.
A little bit too quick on that shot. Didn't have enough people underneath to get that offensive rebound.
Here's Encho. He bumps his way through. That is a foul. Ooh, referees are going to be reviewing that foul as this three-point shot is brought to you by Extreme. One-stop shop appliances, a 3-on-1 opportunity, but Marvin Taiwan decided to stop in front of his head coach and pop from downtown.
Which was the right decision too, because Orlan Wamar really stuck with that ball until Encho bit in. That's the time he kicked it out. And if you're Taiwan, there's nothing else to do but to make it.
Again, the referees are reviewing that previous foul call. It's 63-61 with a minute and change gone by in our fourth quarter.
Three-point shooting so much better here. For San Juan, they're shooting 35%, 7 out of 20. Medyo may konting extension ng right hand. So we'll see what that call is gonna be.
Extension. The
There.
Encho ba?
The Encho, I think.
And then, the left hand of Ubalde tried to swipe the ball. It's a foul on Ubalde.
Ubalde.
Nothing drastic here.
It's a hacking foul on number 27.
But two free throws to be given to Encho Serrano. There's Joseph Ubalde who has had to step up in this game. This should be one of the games wherein Coach Randy just asked a lot from his big man. But Joseph is one of our champions after all. As now we turn you over to Gianna Llanes for this report.
Now is the time to stand strong. Napansin ni Governor Delta, pag nababangga ang players niya, umaatras sila. But he tells especially his big men to take advantage of how much bigger they are than San Juan. Governor Delta is constantly asking for his team's stats during huddles. Napansin niya, karamihan sa points ng San Juan ay nasa loob ng painted area. Pag mag-usap daw sila at bilisan ang transition sa depensa, mapipigilan na nila ang pag-produce ng Knights. Archie Concepcion actually taught me some Kapampangan before the game. Kapampangan ko pag magagol ko, meaning I'm Kapampangan and I'm proud of it. Sabi niya ngayon, ang mindset na yun ang nagdadala sa teammates niya na gawin ang lahat, tapusan ang last quarter na ito with the win. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Gianna. Well, fast break scoring has been better for San Juan in the second half. They're now up 17-6 in that category as Marvin Taiwan has certainly come alive here in the fourth quarter.
It seems that the ploy defensively nitong Pampanga is to allow other players to bring the ball other than surname Taiwan or Orlan Wamar. But again, perimeter side, 15 feet in, you got to check on Balti Baltasar.
It's a three-point game here in Pampanga, 66-63, and Neil Tolentino is trying to play mind games with Orlan Wamar. Orlan is not someone who usually gets rattled. Let's see what Neil can do. Back with Orlan.
There's that switch.
Right on the shot clock. Wamar against Tolentino. 5 seconds. Wamar misfires. And that goes straight out of bounds. Now Neil Tolentino is hearing it from the crowd.
Definitely, they want to do everything to stop Orlan Wamar. After all, the fourth quarter where he's really performing really huge for in the different series. As you got to check that beautiful layup shot there by Balti Baltasar.
Back up with the usual two-man game. Encho misfires. Rebound Tolentino. Now he goes to Ronan Santos. Mid-range, too strong.
Gotta push it.
7 minutes and 10 in game number 1. Adrian Nocum. No basket. Rebound Balti. Forward pass. 2 men ahead. JLC fakes. JLC steps back. Encho is now trying to seal against Marvin Taiwan. Serrano is fouled. And Serrano has to be careful.
Well, they definitely got that mismatch underneath with Encho Serrano posting up. But you have to stay within what you want to do in a game. I mean, after all, momentum's been on your side.
Zach Wang will now be checking in for Joseph Ubalde. Wang joins Kalisaan, Nokum, Taiwan, and Momar. On the other hand, it's Clemente with Baltazar, Serrano, Tolentino, and Santos. That's not Arwind, it's Ronan Santos. JLC, no good. Rebound Kalisaan. It's a 3-point game, 4-on-4. Orlan is by the half-court line. Inaasawa ni Neil Tolentino. That's a turnover.
Too tight a pass right there. They thought that Nokum had the advantage. But then again, you know, Baltasar's gonna be in there.
Encho Serrano spins. Encho Serrano scores! This happened a couple of games back. As you mentioned, Coach Mike, Encho Serrano, he was quiet in the first 3 quarters against Caloocan. Then he came alive in the 4th frame with that 2-man game alongside Balti Baltazar. A stop by Pampanga. JLC wasn't able to locate Encho on the fast break opportunity, but here they come as they set up at the half court. 2-man game, back at it again. Encho Serrano for 3. In and out, rebound Balti. Baltazar against 2 defenders, he's fouled. That's a foul committed by Orlan Momar, as you get to see the signature spin move, faking left, moving right by Encho Serrano. Everybody knows that that is what he's going to do. And somehow, some way, still manages to do it with the best of his ability. 68-63, under 6 minutes to go in game number 1. It's 45-37. Almost 2 minutes gone by in the third. Sanggalang spins. Sanggalang scores.
This move of the game is brought to you by Nexus 88 Gaming.
To be represented by the Pampanga Giant Lanterns team manager and team owner, Mr. Aurelio A.G. Gonzalez III. Once again, we'd like to call in the center court the team manager and team owner, Mr. Aurelio A.G. Gonzalez III, and to Honorable Governor Dennis Delta Pineda for a donation to our Mpbl Kalinga.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Mpbl na! Mpbl na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Mpbl na!
Maraming salamat po, team manager and team owner Aurelio A.G. Gonzalez III, Honorable Governor Dennis Delta Pineda, and to Senior Deputy Speaker Honorable Congressman Don Gonzalez, and likewise to our Mpbl executives.
We're back inside the Brenzigiao Convention Center. We had a nice gesture coming from A.G. Gonzalez, the team owner and manager of Pampanga, alongside Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda, as they just donated to Mpbl Kalinga, which obviously is an existing program in order to support our players here in the Mpbl, especially to those who are in need. Hindi nga naman mahirap, hindi nga naman madali, no, kung magkaroon ka ng injury na malala or sakit. And it's good that we have our Mpbl program to help out our players, as there's the foul called on Orlan Mamar as he tried to swipe the ball off of the hands of Balti Baltazar. Now there was a technical free throw. There is a technical free throw awarded to Marvin Taiwan because Dean Tolentino is called for a tech. He's been doing a bit too much in terms of his gestures on the court. It's one thing to stop Orlan Mamar, but for you to overdo it by performing these antics, of course, the referees will be holding you accountable as well. 5 minutes and 41 remaining in the fourth quarter. This is game number 1 of the North Division Finals. 68-64, Pampanga has the advantage. Tolentino goes to Encho Serrano. They're joined by Balti, Arvin Santos, and Archie Concepcion. 6 on the shot clock. They go to Archie. Corner 3. That's good.
Perfect execution right there by Pampanga. Arvin Santos flaring on the opposite wing, middle ball screen, and hitting Arvin on the other side, and a hockey pass for that 3 on the corner by Archie.
71-64 now. Nico Panganiban with 7 on the shot clock. Panganiban, ball intercepted. Good defense by the Giant Lanterns.
And defense really just stepping up here for Pampanga, trying to give the finishing touches in this match.
2-man game. Up top, that's signature Pampanga with Balti and Encho. Balti fakes the pass, now he gave it up. Spider-Man 3! From the corner, it's Arvin Santos.
Every time you get into a middle ball screen, that corner side, that single guy on that corner, if he's not tagged, he's the point of attack. That time around, they didn't respect that three-point shot by Arvin Santos. He just let it fly and make it.
That's the first three-pointer of Arvin Santos in this game out of 3 attempts. Giving himself 5 points already here in game number 1. Ultimately, it's now a 10-point advantage by Pampanga over Coach Randy Alcantara and company. Archie Concepcion in game 2 versus Caloocan stepped up, able to score 13 points. That's above his season average of 11.7. 60% shooting from the field with 2 boards and 1 dime. Gianna Llanes has a story for us about Archie.
Archie Concepcion elaborates that his purpose for playing today is also a message for those struggling with their mental health. Kunento niya before the game kung pwede daw niya makausap ang sarili niya from 2 years ago na may depression at anxiety dahil kala niya wala nang mapupuntahan ang basketball career niya. Gusto lang niya sabihin na napakasarap sa feeling na malampasan ang challenge sa buhay dahil hindi siya sumuko. Masaya ko Kenny daw ang pakiramdam ni Archie ngayon, playing with nothing but a happy heart. Back to you guys.
That's a wonderful story from Gianna Llanes. 2 years ago, Archie Concepcion was a bench warmer for Arellano University. Last year, he was one of the rising stars of the Mpbl, dubbed as the homegrown player of the year. He's had to adjust into being a role player in the 5th campaign of our league. But boy, has he still been effective. Right now, it's San Juan that's being effective. Back-to-back baskets, it's down to a 6-point deficit.
Yeah, a little fumble right there, but good recovery too.
the other hand, Encho Serrano answers back with a layup of his own.
No, you can't just allow Encho Serrano move over to his strong side, which is the right side.
This is a big one. Orlan Mamar from downtown. That's what happens when you give space to the three-point king of the MPBL.
Counter to how we said about Encho, you can't allow him to dribble penetrate. You can't give enough space like that for Orlan Wamar, because if you do, he's going to make that shot. Look at this. Calisaan got beat by Encho Serrano. To throw it on the other end, reminiscent of how he sank those threes against Nueva and Makati.
All of the field goals of Orlan Wamar have come from Curryland in this game. He's now in double figures with 11. Here's Orlan. Forward pass, Calisaan. The easiest 2 points of the night for Mike.
This assist of the game is brought to you by Nexus 88 Gaming.
We present to you the Orchid Gardens here, I assume, in San Fernando, Pampanga. After all, the Pampanga team isn't named Giant Lanterns for no reason. This town just lights up beautifully, as you can see with our beautiful scenics. Big shout out to our production team as well, as you get to see our Executive Officer Joe Ramos, Commissioner Kenneth Duremdes, Head of Basketball Operations Emer Oreta, with Hamoras, Raymond, and Seth at the sidelines. We also have Rudy Distrito, our Head of Security. We also have Gianna Llanes and Nika Besamis, our courtside reporters, and of course, Coach Mike Perez. Congratulations, by the way, Coach Mike, as you are celebrating your first ever MPBL Division Finals game, having covered it here in Pampanga. Arvin Santos is also playing his first ever Division Finals game. Same goes for every other Kapampangan in the roster of Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda, as now Adrian Nocom just got tangled up with Encho Serrano. Just a warning given by referee Jonal Belna. 76-71, another 4 minutes to go in game number 1. Archie goes to Arwin. Back to Concepcion. Defended by Marwin Taiwan. Archie escapes. Archie goes to Arwin. Santos for 3. Yes, sir!
Well, the Spider-Man really just sinking it from the outside. 2 out of 2 in his last 2 attempts. That's a streak already from 3. In that game against Caloocan, I guess he made 2 of them, going 2 out of 5. You see how he does some more here in this match.
Orlan Omar tried to go 2 out of 2 as well in his last 2 tries. He just missed, but good effort by Zach Wang once more to get that board. He will now proceed to the line. This is what has been happening. Arvin Santos would calmly get the ball. He would size up his defender. And then, it's the signature 3-point shot of the Spider-Man.
So ironically kung paano dinipensa ni Zach Wang eh. Right-handed shot yun. Dapat left hand yung shot attempt niya. Pinang-block niya eh.
Calisaan, pull up. That's good. San Juan is still in this.
Yeah, definitely. They're still in it. This is just a 2-possession game. You got to get a good stop though.
Encho Serrano, Balti, layup. Balti's limping a bit though. I wonder if he's okay, as Taiwan could not answer back. Rebound, Arvin Santos.
And boy, just that duo of Arvin Santos and Balti Baltasar, just too much to cover.
8 seconds
in violation though.
Arvin Santos just a bit too slow there, bringing that ball down. So the ball will return San Juan's way. Balti looks to be struggling a bit here. Wonder if there's some concern on his body. He's limping.
He's favoring that right leg.
It doesn't seem to be the worst of injuries, but let's hope that he would be okay. 81-73, timeout tayo. 2 minutes and 35 to go. A long way to go here in game number 1. And this is just the North Division. So coming up after this, of course, we present Batangas versus So now we're seeing another time wherein Taiwan and Mamar are on the court together as Balti Baltazar answers back.
This move of the game is brought to you by Nexus 88 Gaming.
Coach Randy Alcantara is used to these types of situations. But now let's see Balti getting treated at the bench of Pampanga. Right now, he will be taking a break. Ang pumalit sa kanya ay si JB Bahio, who also has played splendidly in this game. He has double-double to his name. 81-73, 2.5 minutes to go.
Now someone's got to exploit this opportunity. No rim protection, exactly what they did. Attack that rack without anyone protecting it. Now you go back and defend again.
2-possession game. Archie goes to Arwin. They cross it inside. Tolentino fakes. Tolentino misses. Rebound Calisaan. And this is a wonderful opportunity for San Juan to capitalize on. Wamar drives, Wamar misses. Rebound Michael. Calisaan is fouled.
In order, Wamar, he was actually a dribble away from making that layup shot. Salivating already. Alam niya, makakabasket siya. Sumobra lang yung pagkakatansya niya on that shot. But that lane really opened up for that layup attempt. Good thing Michael Calisaan was there to get the offensive board.
Balti now has to return immediately. That's how much they need him on the court. Arvin Santos will be sitting down. MJ Garcia also returns for Neil Tolentino. This should be the last 5 for Coach Dennis Delta Pineda. MJ Garcia, Archie Concepcion, Encho Serrano should be there. He is with JB Bahio and Balti. That's a good block by JB. 2-on-1, Serrano, Archie, Batu. Under the last 2 minutes of game number 1. Calisaan against Balti. Calisaan is fouled.
Well, immediately they had to reinsert Balti Baltasar in because they saw how San Juan actually kept attacking the lane without the big man in there. Well, how about Encho Serrano? Twice already feeding off on the left side. Everything started with this block by JB Bahio. Light turnover swing. Encho out in the open. Waited for that defense to come in. And Archie just doing his patented left-handed layup shot, leaning going to the left.
First free throw converted by Michael Calisaan. San Juan is now 14 out of 18 from the line. That is a good percentage. That should make Senator Jingo Estrada relatively happy at the sidelines, although his team is down by 7 points. If they made those 4 free throws, they could have been in a better position in this game. 83-77, MJ stepped on the sideline. That's a turnover.
A good pressure provided there, going on the sideline. A little push on the side defense there by San Juan, forcing that turnover. Now you got to convert.
Last 100 seconds of game number 1. It's a 2-possession game. Orlan Wamar against Archie Concepcion. Orlan is fouled. That's on Archie.
And they had the right attack perspective right there. Balti is hobbling, use his man as the screener against Orlan Wamar. And so they knew that Balti was going to come in late, and Archie had to close out really strong against the potential 3-point attempt by Orlan Wamar, who recently just made 1.
Yes. Orlan will now be proceeding to the line. He's 2 out of 2 so far from the stripe. Free throw. Yes, will be given to Orlan as the foul is on Archie Concepcion. Pampanga is at the limit, while San Juan has 3 fouls so far in the 4th quarter. Let's see what happened here.
Yeah, right here, they were trying to use Balti as the screener, him hobbling. And, you know, Archie just knew that Balti was not going to be there to help out.
Orlan Romar Jr. misses on his first gimme. He has 11 points so far in this game.
And this is why you practice free throws. Katulad ng sinabi natin kanina.
Yeah. Or else you'll be running walls or suicides on your practice sessions. And again, they might do damage for you come the games. 78-83. 5-point lead for Pampanga. Under 90 seconds remaining in game number 1. MJ Garcia against Marwin Taiwan. MJ still has it. They go to Encho Serrano. 11 on the shot clock. Two-man game with JB Bahio. Encho spins. Encho misses. Rebound and put back by JB Bahio. And then on the other end, there's a foul call, so 2 free throws will be rewarded again to San Juan.
It matters actually when you have the right guy coming in and contributing. The time around in the third quarter, it was JB Bahio. Right now, to close out this game, JB once again added offensive rebound and all, just for the Giant Lanterns' cause.
14 points, 11 rebounds now in this game for JB Bahio in 20 minutes of play. That might actually overshadow this 2020 game by Balti Baltazar.
Well, some things are almost expected already. Hindi ka na so surprised. But Bahio really is the huge present that the coach Delta Pineda actually got in this game.
Second free throw for Marwin Taiwan. That is good. It's back to a 5-point game. 1:04 to go.
Yeah, this is still a 2-possession game. Pretty close one here. Again, you got to go back and get a stop.
85-80. 56 seconds remaining. Archie escapes. Archie bounces. That's a turnover. Numbers for San Juan. Here's Orlan. Wamar drives. Wamar shoots. He got fouled. 2 free throws.
And boy, Orlan Wamar really has got the number of Archie Concepcion right now. All those fakes and sudden stops really making Archie think, paano ba depensahan to, di ba?
And Archie has to be careful with his action on the floor. Coach Randy was asking for a technical foul to be called on him as he ran towards his coaching staff itong si Archie. There's the closeout leading to these 2 free throws.
Yeah, clearly a foul right there.
Orlan is 3 out of 4 so far. Make that 4 out of 5, 80% from the line. And more importantly, the deficit has been trimmed down to 4. Pulling out the smile off of Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Second free throw for the franchise player of the San Juan Knights. 13 points, 7 dimes for him. That's good. Timeout. Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda. It's a 1-possession game with 45 seconds to go. We're back inside the jam-packed Brenzy Giao Convention Center in San Fernando, Pampanga. Rightfully so, because we are experiencing one of the best games of our playoffs so far. The Jamoras with Commissioner Kenneth Duremdes, Rudy Distrito, Emer Oreta, George Magsino, and Joe Ramos present at the sideline. Testament to just how important this game is. It's Mick Gomez alongside Mike Perez, Yana Llanes, and Mika Abesames. 45 seconds remain as Arwin Santos will be inbounding. He has JB Bahio, Balti Baltazar, Encho Serrano, and MJ Garcia with him. Playing defense are Taiwan and Juan on that double team. Someone's called for a foul.
Let me just say, Mix, that's exact same defense that they employed on Robbie Celis, remember, in that Makati game. Immediately on that inbound, you double him and make him think where to pass and pressure him.
That puts San Juan in the penalty now. Double team again, same thing. Pampanga escapes, 7 on the shot clock. MJ Garcia down to 4 seconds. MJ has to make something happen. That's a steal. Number San Juan, Wamar fakes. Wamar gives it up. Orlan gets it back onto Nocom. They swing it over. Taiwan for the tie. No good. Rebound Serrano. And we have 13 seconds to go in game number 1. Balti has the ball with 9 seconds remaining. Garcia trying to waste the time. That's a foul given up by Marvin Taiwan to stop the clock.
Well, now, but you got to give it to San Juan right now. I mean, they've been pretty steady. Game on the line. Even in last execution na yun, didn't force that shot. Didn't force that shot. Tried to find that open man. Got the open man, but really just didn't make it. Pero gusto mo yung composure ng San Juan. Now you got to make your free throws. If you're Pampanga, you're not out of this yet.
MJ Garcia, his second free throw with 5 seconds to go is good. Timeout is called by San Juan. So this should be the last timeout of San Juan, at may isa pa si Coach Dennis Delta Pineda of Pampanga. Let's see what Coach Randy has in store for us. It's a 2-possession game with 5.5 seconds to go. Pakita.
Pag-basket natin ha, pag-basket natin. Dinay ha, dinay muna. Dahil pag wala, foul. Pag naka-receive, foul. Hingi ka dun, Mike. Hingi ka dun. Pag ano dito. Pag-screen mo kayo sa Marvin ko. Ayan. Knock, dito ka na. Pag ganun mo, pwede pa rin.
There you see the schedule for Pampanga and San Juan in the North Division Finals. Game number 2 will happen this Tuesday inside the Philoil Eco Oil Center in San Juan. So the Knights will be having home court advantage for Game 2. And if necessary, we shall return here inside the Bren Zigyao Convention Center on November 18, Saturday. That's if San Juan and Pampanga will be tied 1-1 after 2 games. Right now, we have 5.5 seconds to go in game number 1. It's a 4-point lead for Pampanga as they try to defend San Juan. Sideline inbound for Adrian Nocom. He has Kalisaan, Wang, Wamar, and Taiwan with him. They go to Taiwan at the corner. Marwin is blocked by Bahio, and that should do it. Game number 1 belongs to the Pampanga Giant Lanterns.
And boy, just a strong finish, especially on that defensive stop by Pampanga. But I'm sure, katulad ng sinabi kanina ni Coach Delta Pineda, he's not happy with the effort that they're showing in this game because you kept allowing San Juan to come back and keep this game really close. You know, they were 2 possessions away from making this game turn around in favor of the Knights, but they really just couldn't make those shots. Lalo na yung 3-point shot ni Taiwan kanina after that swing heading into him on that right wing corner 3.
What a battle that was. for just the first game in this series. It's only the beginning for Coach Dennis Delta Pineda and Coach Randy Alcantara. We're settled with a difference of 4 points in favor of Pampanga against San Juan. And again, this coming Tuesday, it's going to be the reversal of fortunes in terms of home court advantage. Now Pampanga will be on the road inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. Let's see how the San Juan fans will be able to respond as they're down in the series 0-1. All right, so in this game, we were impressed by another 2020 performance by Balti Baltazar. 23 points and 20 rebounds, but we were all the more impressed by this guy, JB Bahia, also with a dominant double-double.
Yeah, he's just very efficient and very effective on the things that he's done on the floor, crashing the boards, getting tip-ins, offensive rebounds, energy guy. He was just that one guy that allowed that momentum to remain with Pampanga instead of swinging over to the Knights.
Bahia, by the way, also had to step in when Balti got injured late in the fourth quarter. It seems like Balti should be ready to go in game number 2 as he was able to finish this game. But right now, JB Bahia is with Gianna Llanes.
Yes, congratulations to the Pampanga Giant Lanterns for taking Game 1 of the North Division Finals, and our best player of the game, JB Bahia, with a double-double. Madalas sa mga huddles binanggit ni Gov Delta ang sobrang tight na depensa ng San Juan. Paano nyo to lalagpasan sa susunod na laro?
Execute pa din namin yung game plan ni Coach, and aggressive lang kami sa defense and sa rebounding namin, and lalo na sa mga offensive rebounds.
JB, hanggang ngayon, undefeated pa rin kayo dito sa home court nyo. Paano nyo naman dadalhin ang suporta ng mga Kapampangan sa susunod nyo na laro kahit walang home court advantage?
Kahit di namin home court, alam namin na nandyan lang sa likod namin yung mga Kapampangan, and yun lang, iniisip lang namin na kahit dito sa home court namin, nandyan pa din sila na nakasuporta sa amin, nanonood.
And speaking of your fans, hindi lang napuno dito ang Brenzy Giao Convention Center, kundi mga barangay covered courts and barangay hall. Maraming sumusuporta sa inyo. Pasalamatan mo naman sila.
Maraming salamat sa lahat ng Kapampangan na sumuporta, and yun lang, suportahan nyo pa din kami sa paparating na games namin. Yun lang po.
Meron ka bang gusto pang batiin?
Binabati ko yung ako sa akong pamilya sa Cebu, si Mama Magpapag ako mga igsoon, si Lola Amy, og ako ang mga iyaan, sila Mama Ona, Kuya Brian, o si Kuya Al, o si kila Marcio, MJ, o Goko, Mara.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to our best player of the game. Back to you, Migs and Coach Mike.
Thank you, Gianna. A job wonderfully done by JB Bahia, getting a double-double of 14 points and 11 rebounds in game number 1 of the North Division Finals. It's only the beginning for our Final Four, because on Monday we shall present to you game number 1 of the South Finals between the Bacoor City Strikers and the Batangas City Embassy Chill. Happy Palanya, and Coach JB Gayoso will be joining you guys for that coverage. But right now, let's wrap up today. Coach Mike Perez, I'd like to get your thoughts about San Juan and Pampanga in game number 1.
Well, I feel that San Juan, they did lose this game, but, you know, they showed they had a lot of fight. Nilabanan nila yung lahat ng momentum na pinakita ng Pampanga, and they really just too much firepower. At idagdag mo pa dyan yung effort ng ating best player of the game, JB Bahio. He really was consistently that guy in the third quarter. Normally, San Juan would make their run in the third or early in the fourth, but because JB performed, it made it more difficult for them to come back.
Now, obviously, this is a big testament by Pampanga winning on this level. This is the first time, after all, that they're playing in the North Division Finals. But did you see enough from the San Juan side to believe that they have a good chance of winning game number 2?
Oh yeah, definitely. They were 2 3-pointers made away from their usual average of 10 in the series leading up to those wins against Makati and Nueva Ecija. The points in the paint given na yun that's really going to be Nueva Ecija. But when you look at the bench points, man, 42 bench points they got today coming from the players. I mean, if they couple that with a little bit more of points from turnovers, they did pretty well at 24 points, but they could have been better because may mga missed opportunities sila in the live turnovers, especially in that first half.
By the way, that's 42 bench points on the road.
Right.
Imagine at home. That's usually where bench players tend to play a lot better in front of their home crowd. Right now, it's Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda who waves at his own crowd here in Pampanga as they celebrate that game number 1 victory. By the way, you just saw Dexter Marquez right there at the last second. He's been sitting behind the bench of San Juan all game long. I wonder what that means for next year's campaign. It's 1-0 in favor of Pampanga versus San Juan, and then again, Bacoor and Batangas will open up the South Division Finals this coming Monday. Do you actually have expectations for that game?
Well, I think it's going to be a really tough game to call, if you ask me. I think that series is going to go 3.
Okay.
I think that's
how about this series, Pampanga San Juan?
I think it's the same.
Same
and
then.
It's because the way that San Juan performed today, they really just run out of time. I mean, if you extended it a little bit more, could have been San Juan on the other end.
Well, I guarantee you one thing. For all of our Mpbl fans out there, everybody wants a game number 3 for both series. So there you go. We wrap things up for Pampanga and San Juan game number 1. For Mika Besamis, Diana Llanes, and Coach Mike Perez, my name is Mex Gomez, and now we turn you over to our press conference.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Mpbl post-game press conference. And we are joined by Pampanga head coach Governor Delta Pineda and our best player of the game, JB Bayo. Coach, any opening statement po mula sa inyo and your assessment sa naging laban ninyo with the San Juan Knights, Coach?
Yung ina-expect ko talagang tight defense ng San Juan, pinakita naman. Talagang sabi ko nga sa mga players natin, huwag nyo isipin na pumunta San Juan dito para magpatalo. Pumunta sila rito para talunin tayo dito sa home court natin. So, they did their best talaga. Grabe. Hindi ko expect na magko-close fight din talaga.
So, moving to JB, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 blocks, and 1 steal. Talk about showing up in a semi-final game like this na pakita yung grand introduction mo with this team.
Sa akin lang naman, binibigay ko lang yung 100% ko every game and aggressive lang sa defense and sa mga offensive rebounds. Sinusuklian ko lang yung tiwala ni coach sa akin na yun lang po.
Yes, go. 42 points in the paint. Tapos dominado tayo sa rebounds. Ginamit ba natin yung advantage ng big men natin? Kitang-kita naman sa buong game.
Actually, yun ang nire-remind ko sa kanila. Pagdating sa guards, medyo lamang sila sa guards. Pero sabi ko nga, i-take natin yung advantage natin, which is the height. So, thank God that doon, yun ang naging mga second chance point namin itong huli. Mga offensive rebound, nagbunga.
Go, nasa